What up, motherfuckers? Okay, so I'm really seriously thinking about getting in. Oh my god. Can't stop yawning, y'all. Okay, so let's talk about Suboxone and pregnancy, you guys. I just had a young lady comment. Where's my freaking toothbrush, man? This is what it's like living with a little boy named Nathaniel Alexander. He takes your toothbrush and you don't know where it is. Shoot, he could have been scrubbing the dog's butthole with it. Oh, there it is. It's in my shower. Never mind. Yeah, I didn't do shit today but lay in bed. That's y'all's Suboxone detox update. Okay? Like, I don't know what people want me to come on here and cry every day. It's like, damn, I'm trying. Anyway, I want to talk about Suboxone and pregnancy. I had a girl comment about being on subs for 2 years and now she's pregnant. She wants to get off of them. And I totally understand. Totally. But it's not a good time if you're pregnant. It's dangerous to come off subs while you're pregnant. Oh, you're welcome. Anytime, girl, anytime. Let me brush my teeth hurt. Because I've been laying in bed all day. Being a lazy slob.
New visitor.
Okay, so. Alright. Okay, so a lot of people are on Suboxone while they're pregnant, okay? If you're pregnant and you've been on Suboxone for 2 years, do not try to come off of it while you're pregnant. Because when you go into withdrawal, you can have a miscarriage. So that's why what your doctor will normally do is just keep you on a low dose or keep you on a dose of Suboxone to keep you balanced out so you don't have a miscarriage or anything. Your baby don't go through withdrawal. I feel good. A lot of people make a stigma about Suboxone. And that's why we're in a lot of the problems that we're in, is because so many people are so concerned about what other people are doing for their sobriety, Yeah, Suboxone. That's what they'll switch you over to. And that's safe. You will be just fine. I know hundreds of girls. I've been talking about MAT and sobriety for 4 years. I've worked with hundreds of girls who have been on Suboxone, okay? Who had their babies and their babies are just fine. It's better for you to be on that medication than the risk of you coming off of it and losing your baby, or the risk of you coming off of it and relapsing. So you have to look at it from this point of view. So this is the way the doctor would look at it. The doctor looks at it from a risk-benefit analysis. So they're going to look at the risks of taking you off of it while you're pregnant, and the benefits. And the risk of your baby dying and you having a miscarriage is greater than you staying on than the medication causing your baby harm. So stay on the meds and don't even worry about that. So I also wanted to come on here and say some stuff. So a lot of you guys are seeing my video that was from January 10th. We're in February now. Okay. People are commenting on my video from January 10th saying, you're never going to make it. You're not going to get off Suboxone. And I'm just like, thanks. Thanks for the support, guys. It makes me sick the way people are on this app. Sick. Over 8 days since I took 0.25 of a milligram of Suboxone. And people are commenting like, you're never going to make it. And you know what? What if I took 0.25 today? It don't matter. It's my journey. It's my taper journey. It's my detox journey. I'm not saying this to you, Nona. I'm not saying this to you, baby. No name given. I'm not saying this to you. I'm saying this to people who are commenting on my fucking video from January 10th saying, you're not going to make it, or commenting on my video from January 15th saying, you haven't posted any more about it. You must have fucking failed. you know? I didn't cold turkey off of subs. That's not how I'm doing this, okay? I'm going as long as I can without taking 0.25 of a milligram. And if I have to take 0.25 of a milligram one morning next week because I wake up and I fucking can't get out of bed, then that's what I'm going to do, because I'm a mom and I can't be comatose in my bed all day long. You know what I mean? If people want to judge me for that, then fucking judge me for it. My body will tell me when I'm ready to completely be off of Suboxone. My body, I'm working with my body. I'm listening to my brain. If I start craving and I start feeling like I want to go out and relapse, I will much rather take 0.25 of a Suboxone strip than fucking go out and get high. You know? Oh, I'm so sorry about your mama, baby. That makes me so sad. Let me give you a follow. Hey, Nikki, what's up, girl? Thank you. I appreciate you. All I'm trying to say is, like, I need people who are supportive. I don't need people who are going to come over here and comment rude shit. And if you're not here because you support me and you're just here because you want me to fail, then get the fuck up off my page. You know what I'm saying? If you're here because you're like, we're going to watch Real Talk Recovery discovering Nicole fail. She's never going to make it. And you're over in your little chat groups talking shit about me, then go fucking sit on a dick and spin on it. You know, and that's what I feel like a lot of people on TikTok, they're just not even really here to support you. A lot of people are here because they're jealous. They want to fucking see me fail. They don't want to see me come off Suboxone. They want to be able to talk shit about me behind my back and say that I failed. And I'm like, suck it. You know? No, I'm just starting to get fucking little troll ass comments that are commenting on my video from January 10th. We are in February. I have been literally tapering off Suboxone since January 10th. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so here, I'll go ahead and give you all the rundown. So January 10th to January 15th, I went without anything, and then I took 0.25. January 16th to January 26th. 10 days, I went without taking anything. Okay, then January 26th to 31. I think I can't remember. It's been over 8 days. It's been almost 11. Anyways, the last time I took a sub was like January 26th or 28th. So whatever that day was till now, you know, and so that's what I'm trying to do, is try to distance myself. And so that way, eventually, I'll just not have to take anything. You know what I mean? But I got people commenting on my shit that are like, you're going to fail. You're never going to make... It's like, why would you comment something like that on my page? Do you know, like, how long I've been on Suboxone? 7 years almost. 7 years. I went 4.5 days without any sleep. Do y'all understand that? Do you understand that? I got a kid. I got to get him ready for school in the morning. I got to be a mom. And I'm going almost 5 days without sleep. Okay, so people just make me sick on this app. People make me sick. It's like they were wanting to sit there and wait for someone to fail. Why not lift me up? Why not be like, girl, you do what you got to do. I'm so proud of you. No matter what, we're cheering for you. You know what I'm saying? But instead, I have to deal with fucking troll ass motherfucking bitches on my shit talking shit. You know, if anybody can kick Suboxone, it will be me. Shit, I could have fucking probably done it cold turkey, but I didn't want to do it that way because I got a kid. If I didn't have my son, I would have jumped off cold turkey. Straight up, because I'm fucking savage like that. I used to do it all the time in active addiction, all right? And it wasn't nothing but a thing. If y'all want to see somebody who cannot handle withdrawal, let me get my husband up here, and he'll tell y'all all about it. He's the kind of person that kicks the walls in, cusses folks out, is acting all crazy. That's not me, man. I will lay in my bed, and I will fucking kick hard all by myself and beat myself down, and then I will come out on the other side. The only reason why I'm not kicking my Suboxone cold turkey off of 0.25 or 1 milligram or half a milligram is because I have a little boy and I have to take him to school in the morning. I have to pick him up from school. My husband works full time, over 60 hours a week. Okay. I have to make sure that I can actually function. Okay? And if y'all don't understand that, then don't be on my page. I don't want people that are here waiting for me to fail, you know? I already have enough hating ass bitches following me to fucking put them in a box all together and throw them in fucking hell purgatory bullshit. Anyway, I'm just pissed off. Also, I'm having the best time making these videos about if drugs could talk. And if you don't like them, fucking get off my page, because I'm fucking having a fucking hell of a time. I'm laughing my ass off making these videos. Because the videos that I'm making, I'm telling you guys true stories. So let's get into it. If crack could talk, y'all want to hear the story of how I army crawled and fucking put all my furniture in front of the door to make sure that the cops couldn't get in? Here we go. So back in the Dizzy, I used to live in a fucking 1-bedroom efficiency that was in a tower. You have to look it up, okay? I'll give you the address. I'll tell you what it is. It was on University Avenue here in Little Rock, Arkansas, and it was called The Towers, okay? It's right across from the Park Plaza Mall. Now, these 1-bedroom efficiency apartments were like crack fiend out. Anybody that lived there was either on, what's it called? They were on government housing, or they were people like me who were drug addicts who couldn't get no one else to rent to us. So we moved into the towers, okay? So like you'd walk into this building and the smell of crack smoke would just hit you in the face. Like it was automatic. You knew when you walked in the door that you could get drugs from any of your neighbors. My drug dealer, before I moved in there, used to live on the 7th floor. Like I'm telling you guys. And it was crazy. And so this was before I met my husband. Was it before I met my husband? Or was it while he was... I don't remember. Anyway, I think I had just started dating Neil, and he was staying with his parents, and I was living there by myself because I had gotten a job waiting tables, and I was making really good money, so I could pay my own rent and shit. But I had this friend. His name was Joe. Old man Joe. About 50 years old, black man, and he used to be my friend Tara's boyfriend. Okay, Tara that called CPS on me. So that's how I knew him. I had knew him for like 6 years, you know what I mean, before I ever moved into the towers, and he was my next door neighbor in the towers. So I move into the towers, and that's when I see that he's literally he's my next door catty corner neighbor across the hallway from me. And we were both on the 7th or 8th floor, something like that. And so every night when I would get home from waiting tables, he would come and wait for me at the bottom, at the door. There was a side door that you could go into the towers, and then you could go up the elevator. Well, he would wait there because he knew I was coming with a pocket full of money, and he was a straight fiend, man. He wanted to smoke crack with me. So I would come in, I'd have my fucking $300-$400 from waiting tables all night, and then me and him would go get a whole bunch of crack. Well, this one night, we had been smoking, and the first thing I noticed when he would smoke was the moment he would hit that crack, y'all, he would go straight to my window. And I would always make fun of him so bad because I had never smoked it and got my bell rung before. Well, this was going to be my first, okay? So we were in the bathroom because we would always go hide in my bathroom together. Nothing sexual, nothing like that. We were just smoking together. And he was like, okay, this is going to be the day that you're going to hear the ring, ding, dong, ring-a-ding, ding, ding, dong. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, whatever. No, it's not. Well, I'll be damned. I hit that shit. And all of a sudden it was like this. And I was straight like, damn, you know what I mean? And I went straight to the fucking blinds, and I was like this. And so I'm looking out the blinds, and like I was telling you guys, it's right across the street from the mall. Okay. And it's like 2:00 in the morning because I just got off work. And so I'm looking across the street, and all I can see in my eyes, in my mind, are the cop cars in a SWAT vehicle. Okay. It says SWAT right across it. And so I dropped to the ground, and I'm like, Joe, get on the ground. And we're like literally going like this through my apartment. I don't have a lot of furniture because I literally have like an air mattress in there a dresser, a TV stand, and then like some odds and ends, like a chair, a recliner I found outside on the side of the road. You know what I'm saying? And so we're shoving everything we can in front of my door. We have barricaded ourselves in the apartment. I'm talking everything stacked up on Johnny, and all I can see is I have enough room to look through a crack underneath the door like this. So I'm laying on the ground. I'm laying on the ground. I haven't even hit the crack rock again. Okay. And I'm laying under the ground like this, watching the crack of the door, waiting for the cops to come. What am I going to do? Wait for them to come? They're going to kick that shit and it's going to fall all over me. I did that for like 6 hours, waiting for them to come. And that's the true story of me barricading myself in the apartment after I hit the crack-a-lacka. Now, after that, I used to get my bell rung all the time because I don't know who we were getting this stuff from, but it was from some stuff that you got your bell rung from. Now, I always had a preference that if I got some, I would rather break it down and shoot it than smoke it. But once we started getting it from this one guy, it was like I was getting my bell rung every single time, you know? And so one time, this is so embarrassing to me. There was this guy that was working there like a security or something, but he was fine as hell, okay? And I had been over at Joe's house, and I was crossing over to go to my apartment right after I got my bell rung. And I'm in the hallway, and it's going wah, 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 wah. You know what I mean? And that guy sees me. He's like, hey, girl, what's up? And so I let him in my apartment, and I straight did it with him. Hell, high as hell. I couldn't even fucking talk to him. I was like this. I was literally so high, I couldn't form words. I was like, I bet you I looked so sexy. But y'all, at this time, I was so malnourished and so skinny. Like, I was eating methadone pills like they were going out of style. I was shooting dope. And my eyes were like real bad sunk into my head. I was super duper thin. Like, when I tell you guys I was so thin, I know it's hard to believe because my ass is so fat now, but I was so tiny. And best drug you can buy from Walgreens without a prescription, cortisone. Cortisone. Cortisone cough pills. Anyway, they'll make you trip like you are on acid. Anyway, so I was a hot mess living in that apartment building. I was living in that apartment building, living the life of a crazy person. Like, I had nothing. I would literally stay up all night long smoking crack or shooting dope. And then I would go to sleep for maybe 2 hours if I could. And then I would have to be at work at like 3 or 4 because I worked at this really badass restaurant where we served like seafood and we had a patio. So I worked the patio. I was a cocktail waitress, and our uniforms were so cute. We wore these tight black little shirts that showed our stomachs with these little fucking, my shorts were probably that big, khaki shorts, you know? And I remember my husband, when we first met, he bought me this blue diamond ring, not this one. And he made me wear it at work. He's like, you need to have your ring on. Well, every time I would go to work, I would take it off and put it in my pocket. So when Neil would come and pick me up, I wouldn't have my ring on. He's like, why is your ring down on your finger? And I'm like, because I don't make as many tips when I got my ring on my finger. What the hell, motherfucker? I'm trying to get paid. You know what I mean? I'm trying to make money. And I was, just like I am on here, I was as thick as thieves. I could talk to anybody, okay? I could talk to lawyers. I could talk to doctors. I could talk to people that were hard working, blue collar. I could talk to anybody, okay? And I could talk you out of your money and get me some tips. That's what my job was. It was to entertain you while you were up there on the patio, listening to music, drinking, eating good food. And I'm talking, even if you had a girlfriend, I was going to be on your girlfriend like white on rice. She was going to love me. She's been whispering in your ear, Daddy, give her a 20, give her a 40, because I was just so good at my job. And that's something that I've always been really, really good at, period. No matter what job I take on, I'm going to kill it, man. And I was talking to my dad the other day because he came to go with me and my husband to look at the houses that we're going to buy. And he goes, when he called me on the phone, right? And I said, hey, babe, or I said, hey, Dad, what's up? He goes, hey, what's going on? I said, nothing, I relapsed, right? He goes, yeah, right. You're too good at what you do. You ain't relapsing. He said you was good at getting high, and now you're good at helping people get sober. And I was like, you are right about that, motherfucker. You are right about that, because it's the truth. I put all of my energy into getting high. And I mean, I put all of my energy into getting high. And now that I'm in recovery, I put all of my energy into helping other people and staying in recovery. You know what I mean? And that's why it's so important to me to like share with you guys authentically and honestly. Like, I'm feeling good today. I want to feel good today. I don't understand why people are like wanting me to be in pain coming off of Suboxone. Like, I started this journey January 10th, and I feel like people are expecting me to still be puking my brains out. And that's just not how it works. Like, I've been doing really well distancing myself from Suboxone and not taking it. And it's almost like people are wanting me to fail. I don't want to fail. I want to come on here and be happy and in a good mood. Would you rather me come on here crying and depressed and tell you that I'm not doing well and tell you that I can't do this? It's almost like people want me to not do well. And I don't understand that. Like, I'm people's biggest cheerleader. And I think also what it is, and I understand a little bit because I do watch other people online that are coming off subs. And I do understand that most people who make content about coming off Suboxone, they don't taper. They jump off a high-ass milligram, and then they're making videos, and they're fucking miserable. And you guys expect me to be like that. But I have literally been tapering since 2019. I've literally been preparing myself in my brain for this moment since 2019. And you guys also have to understand, like, I have one of the best doctors in the United States of America backing me, Dr. B, helping me, So I just don't understand the logic of some people. You know what I mean? Yeah, I do feel like, and I also, what I think it is, I know you guys, a lot of y'all are here that support me, and I'm so grateful for that. She's 14 and pregnant. How do I tell my mom? Girl, you better get in there and tell her. You better go up and sit down with her mom and tell her so she can help you. My parents said if I get pregnant while I'm a teen, they kick me out, and I don't want to get kicked out. Man, I'm never going to do that to my son. If my son gets a girl pregnant, I will be there to help him. You know why? Because it's when you tell your son or your daughter, if you get pregnant, I'm going to keep you out. If you do this, blah, 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 blah. Why the fuck would people do that? Why would you tell your kids that you want to kick them out if they get pregnant? That's not threatening your child that way isn't going to help them to not get pregnant. You know what you do? You sit down your daughter and you say, daughter, are you being sexually active? You can be honest with me. I'm not going to be angry. And if daughter says, yeah, mom, I haven't had sex yet, but I've been doing this, that, and third. Okay, baby. It's time to go put on birth control. It's time to go get some contraceptives. Okay? It's time to learn how to put a condom on. That's what you do. You know what I'm saying? You don't tell babies that you're going to kick them out because that makes them to where they don't want to talk to you. They don't want to tell you the truth. They don't want to tell you what happened. You know what I'm saying? I just saw a comment. Now they want to call CPS on her. Who's trying to call CPS on who, Bubbles? Because they ain't calling CPS on me. Shh. I'll be damned. Y'all couldn't pay me to open the door to CPS. Ain't gonna happen over here. I know my rights. I ain't dumb like I used to be when I was younger. When I was younger and in my active addiction, I didn't know my rights. And I opened the door to them fools. I ain't gotta open the door to them fools. Hey, Kay, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. We're still on the straight and narrow, still pushing forward. I didn't understand mine either. And here's the thing, like, hey Vincent, somebody calling CPS on you from fucking social media, that is no bearing for any CPS person to come to your house. Like, how can you possibly gather enough information from somebody's 30-second videos to call Child Protective Services? You know what I mean? That's way crazy. You know what I mean? Like, that's horrible. Unless you see somebody online, like, beating the crap out of their kid, burning them with cigarettes, starving them to death, then, I mean, like, seriously, y'all know Nate, my son, he comes on my lives all the time and says hi to you guys, and says hi to you guys and sits down and talks with you guys, and you guys see how my son is thriving and he's doing so well. Y'all want to hear a troll comment I got on my IG today? So my IG is like wild, dude, wild. One of my videos went viral that I made telling the story about my son getting taken away from me whenever I was in my active addiction, and talking about how me and my husband worked our asses off to get him back for Christmas time that year, right? Well, this girl commented on it, and she said, "Why does your son look pale and malnourished?" First of all, bitch, my son's father is a ginger. He's white as the pale driven snow. Okay? My son is a mixture of his ginger snap ass and my ass. Okay? So he's not going to be dark brown. All right? Second of all, this kid's eating me out of house and home. Malnourished where? Malnourished where? I can't stop feeding him. It's like 24/7. He's always hungry. I don't know how I'm going to live. We are literally, it is like feeding 5 teenage boys, I swear to God. Because Nathaniel, he's hit a growth spurt. He's hungry all the time. Hungry all the time. Got energy for days. You know, like, I don't think people know my story or know my situation or know my husband or know what my husband looks like. Like, my husband's literally the reddest redhead you've ever seen in your life. He got freckles all over his little body, even on his pee-pee. You know? It's just wild to me how people can be so consumed and obsessed with one person's life. You know what I mean? It's like, it's unbelievable sometimes. It's unbelievable, you guys. Seriously. But I digress. Hey, what's up, Court? How you doing? Thanks for everybody being in here. So I wanted to tell you guys a story about how I caught my house on fire almost on Oxycontin 80s. Now, that's my next story. Because every story time that I tell you in these, if crack could talk, if Xanax could talk, if vodka could talk, if Oxycontin could talk, we're going to do all of them. We're going to do if cocaine can talk. We're going to do if corticosteroids can talk. We're going to do if NyQuil could talk. Yes, I used to drink NyQuil. I did. I will admit it. Whenever I was hard up and I didn't have no money for drugs, me and my old boyfriend, LD, would go and steal like 4 bottles of NyQuil, 2 bottles a piece, and we would down them shits. Have y'all ever done that? Okay, crazy question, but let's say you wean down to crumbs of subs and your OBGYN knows. I mean, honestly, me and my mafia, I'll just tell you this, okay? I just am really, I don't think a good doctor would let you do that while you're pregnant because the risks, okay? So when a good doctor is going to sit you down and they're going to look at the risks versus the benefits, okay? The benefit of you staying on subs while you're pregnant is you won't relapse, right? You're not going to go out and get heroin. Your baby's going to be not going through withdrawal. And then the risks of you getting off of it are your baby going through withdrawal. You could have a miscarriage. You could go out and relapse, right? So that's what they're going to look at. I truly believe a doctor who has your best interest at heart is not going to allow you to get off Suboxone while you're pregnant. And that's, I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I mean, Dr. B wouldn't let you get off of it. He would keep you on it. And I know that. And you're probably, oh, you can't say that. You don't know what Dr. B would do. Yes, I do. I worked with Dr. B long enough. I know his practices. I know exactly how he does things. And we just had a girl come in recently who was pregnant, who was on heroin, and we had to help her get onto Suboxone. So I know how Dr. B would handle it. He would tell you, you need to stay on that medication until you have your baby. So that way your baby will not go through withdrawal. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. see how you said it took you 8 months to get down to nothing? That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to take my time and it might take me a couple of months to completely be off of it for altogether, but I'm trying to go slow so that way I don't hurt as bad. You know what I'm saying? But I almost feel like people want me to hurt you guys. But let me tell y'all the story. Are y'all ready? The story about... First, let me tell you the story about if vodka could talk, okay? Because that was a true story. So, this was way back in the day. This was like in 2005 or 2006, okay, when I still lived in Hot Springs, Arkansas. This is before I went to prison and everything. So, back whenever I was younger, me and my sister Michelle, we were so much fun, you guys. We were the sisters that would show up at your house and be like, bitch, get out of bed. We're going to fucking party. You know what I'm saying? And we would have everything that you needed to get drunk and high and go party. All right. So one day, me and my sister Michelle went and picked up my sister's best friend, Stormy, who is also a ginger snap. So it was me, Misty, and Stormy. And I never realized it until today, or until like a couple of years ago, but Misty and Stormy were sisters, and their names are Misty and Stormy. Anyway, me, Misty, and Stormy, we all got ready, and the way we used to get ready back in the day was I would wear these really tight black pants that were like bell-bottomed out at the bottom, and I had this beautiful, I had a bunch of these beautiful, sequin crop tops, okay, that tied in the back and were backless. I'm talking, I looked fine as fuck, okay, and then the way we did our makeup is we had the silver eyeshadow with the black right here, and then the eyeliner. I mean, totally 90s, right? Or early 2000s. And so we went out to this club that was right across the street from the racetrack, okay? The horse racetrack. And this place is still there to this day, okay? It's still a fucking club. And my sister's a bartender, and a lot of people knew her, so we would always get in for free everywhere because she had bartended at so many different places. So we're all in there, and we're getting drunk as a motherfucking skunk. I like to drink. When I go to the club, I'm ordering Long Island iced teas, 5, 6 of them bitches, and I'm downing them. I'm sucking them down the straw, and I'm out on the fucking dance floor, and I'm dancing. I'm dancing with every dude that fucking wants to dance with me. You could be ugly as fuck, and I'm grinding on your ass. We're having the best time of our lives, right? So, there's this guy, me and Stormy were grinding, dancing with this dude. He was sexy, or at least he looked sexy whenever I was drunk. And I had lost my car keys in the club, so I was like, I can't drive off. So it's why don't you guys come home with me? And so we separate from Misty and my sister, and me and Stormy leave with this guy in his yellow Jeep Cherokee, bright ass yellow, okay? And he takes us back to his house. By the time we get to his house, Stormy is vomiting everywhere. And so I don't even know what's going on. All I know is that they took her and they put her in the bathtub, and then they took her clothes off and put on a fresh t-shirt, and they laid her on the couch, and she was out cold. I didn't even know this was happening because I'm in the back bedroom with, I thought his name was Mike, but it was Tom or something like that. I'm in the back bedroom with him with socks on and nothing else, and fucking screaming out somebody else's name while we're fucking, right? I'm like, oh, Mike. Well, when I fucking finally woke up the next morning, I looked around to see where I was at, and I noticed all I had on was my socks, and I'm like, oh shit. And so I popped up and I started getting dressed, and he goes, hey, my name's Tom, right? And I'm like, no. And he's like, because you were calling me some guy named Mike all night long. You were calling his name. And I'm like, who's Mike? I don't know who that is either. You know what I'm saying? So I get dressed, and I'm tripping because I'm like, where's Stormy? Or I'm thinking, where's my sister? I don't even know I have Stormy with me. I'm thinking I still have my sister with me, right? And he goes, Stormy's out there. We had to put her in the bathtub, and I will never forget it. I was like, Stormy, I don't fucking hang out with Stormy. I'd ride solo before I hang out with my sister's friend Stormy. And I walked out into the living room, and there's her little redheaded ass laying there out cold, looking like she's dead because she fucking drank too much alcohol. And so I wake her up. I'm like, wake up, bitch. We got to get out of here. I don't even know who these people are, you know? And so I wake her up, and I go to walk outside because I think I'm going to get in my car, right? Nope. My car's not there. Dude, I was mortified. I wanted to leave so fast and so quick. I called my mom. I said, Mom, me and Stormy are at this guy's house. I don't know where we're at. I'm like asking him for the address, you know. And so my mom comes and picks me up and brings me my spare key to my car, takes me to the club and drops me off and to get my car. But I was fucking mortified, dude, because I was calling him somebody else's name. I was just so out of pocket. I didn't even know who I was with. Like, it was just one of those nights that just like, it just went crazy. Back then, you guys, I feel like we could have those kind of crazy nights and not really too much worry about it. But now I probably would have gotten like stolen or something, or trafficked or something, you know? It's not the same as it used to be. But that night that I just shared with you guys, I would do that all the time. Just end up at random dudes' houses, okay? Random dudes' houses or the cocaine dealer's house. That was another thing that I was infamous for doing, okay? Infamous for doing was finding that dude who sold the coke, right? And attaching myself onto him like a blood-sucking fiend. One time, me and my girlfriends, right? We had just graduated high school, and there was this guy, his name was Glasper. He was a black guy. His name was Glasper, and he was actually dating one of my friends from high school, but they had like broke up or something. And so my friend Sonia, it was me, Sonia, and Miranda, and Tammy. Tammy is a girl that I dated later on in life, okay? So if y'all didn't know that, I like women. I think women are beautiful. If I didn't marry my husband, I might have been a lesbian. So anyway, we were all over at Glasper's house. We called him Buck. And he had this beautiful big townhouse, right? Obviously, because he was selling coke. This fool would give me he would spell my name out, Nicole, and then do my middle name, Marie, Marie, DeMeo, Demeo. And I would just be like, you know? One night we were there, we were like bumping music, we were dancing, all of us were getting down. And next thing I know, one thing leads to another. And there's these two, it's Buck and these twins, okay? So there's 3 guys and 4 girls. And the next thing I know, we are literally having like an orgy. I mean, everybody's upstairs in the bed together, nakedness everywhere. And we're switching partners and we're flip-flopping around. I have had some of the most wild sexual encounters when I was high that you could ever imagine. But that one is one that I remember the most. Now, let me tell you guys, it was so much fun. Let me tell you guys about one of the first times I ever kind of got out of pocket like that and did some freaky shit. I was young. We were still in high school. I was like a senior in high school. And it was me, my friend Matt. We were over at my friend Sonia's house. Her mom was super fucking cool, and she just let us party and shit. And so it was me and Sonia, my friend Alan, my friend Matt, my friend Brian Young. And it was just me and Sonia and one other girl, Tammy, okay? Tammy, the same girl. And so we got really, really drunk. And so I don't know what happened, but we ended up in the bathtub with the shower on, and me and Tammy, that's what would happen. Me and Tammy would always get down. We were like, fuck it. Let's do some stuff in front of all these dudes and make them literally be freaking out. You know what I mean? When you were younger and you would hook up with girls in front of guys, they would be like, oh my gosh, all the guys would be like, oh, I want the, the guys couldn't handle it because they were all younger, like 18 years old. And so it was like their first time never seeing anything like that. But, so me and Tammy are in the shower hooking up, kissing each other butt naked. Okay. I will never forget this. My friend Matt, he's so crazy, y'all. He literally jumps in the shower completely clothed and is like on his hands and knees on the bottom of the tub. And we all just got freaked out because it was so not cool that he kind of just threw himself in there with us. You know, it was just like one of those moments where you're like, dude, he totally ruined the whole mood. And so that was over, but I will never forget it because we all grew up together. And so I still talk to him to this day, and we have so many memories. There was this one time me and him, we were hanging out with this guy named Psych, and we were smoking a lot of crack. And me and him went back to his apartment. And, God, what did I say? Like, I say some of the craziest, freakiest shit whenever I'm high. He had this apartment, right? He had this apartment, and it was an apartment that was in the old Hot Springs High School. So it had like a chalkboard. It had like, it was just a big ass, but it was an apartment. It used to be a classroom, you know? And so I can't remember what I said, but I'll never forget his face because he was like, I'll have to ask him. I'm going to have to text him and ask him what I said because ever since then it was crazy. We would always talk about it. But when we were younger, this is what he used to do when we were younger. We were like in 9th grade. Every day in like second or third period, which is our history class, he would ask me to scrunch his Nike socks because he would wear 2 pairs of Nike socks and I would scrunch them to make him look perfect. He had the biggest crush on me that he wrote the song Hey Lover by LL Cool J on a piece of paper and gave it to me when we were in high school. And his girlfriend found out. Her name was Leanne. I will never forget this. And we were all in the hallway, and she walked up to him, and she was like, Matt, how dare you? And smacked him across the face in front of everybody. I mean, it was a smack you could hear across the nation. Like, you know, but I was just like, damn. You know, those were the days. I was pretty wild, though, when I was younger. And I'm telling you, like, a lot of the reasons why I was so wild was because of drugs. I would get drugs into me. And I was not afraid to do it. I wasn't embarrassed. I was balls to the wall. You know what I mean? Balls to the wall. I was fun back in the day. Y'all would have loved hanging out with me. I didn't start to be unfun until I started to get really messed up. And then it wasn't that I was unfun. It was just that I would get so messed up that I would be like not coherent. You know what I'm saying? Like the first time I ever shot heroin, I was living with my friend Lawrence. Lawrence was a triple OG. He was like an old pimp, right? And I'm serious, like an old school pimp. He would wear like 3-piece suits and alligator shoes and shit like that. But he would let me rent a room from him because my job was right up the street from his house. And I always bought pills from him because he sold pills. So Lawrence let me stay there if I paid him, paid rent. Well, one day I had met this young kid. Oh, what's his name? Jared, I think. Jared or something like that. He's on my old Instagram. If y'all ever want to peep me in active addiction, go to my old Instagram. It's Nikki D's 77, NICKYDZ 77, and you'll see what I look like in active addiction. Okay. So, hey, Micah. So what was I saying? Oh yeah. So I met this guy and I had always just shot Roxy's. Like, I was straight up dedicated to Roxy's. I would do Dilaudid's, but they weren't good to me. Like, I hated that pins and needles feeling that they gave me. And so Roxy's were it. Well, he took me down this alley here in Little Rock. Come to think about it, it was an alley over by the NA meeting that we all went to meet this guy that was selling capsules of heroin. Okay. And I had never done heroin in my whole entire life. So he gets a capsule, I get a capsule. And so he's like, just do half of it. It might be too much for you. Well, no way. Nobody's telling me what to do. So I'm going to do my capsule, right? I get my capsule ready. I do it. And I am out. Like, I'm immediately nodded out, right? Like, I'm like out like a light. So I'm in the house and I'm sitting on the couch and they're all videotaping me. This was mortifying because they showed it back to me. And that was one of the moments where I really saw how bad off I was getting because my friends took the time to videotape me, and they were like, look, like, we're slapping you across the face. We're like doing stuff to you, and you can't even keep your head up. It was so sad, you guys. It honestly was, it was sad. And when I think back to those times, those times make me sad because I know that I was in a bad way. Was it scary?
What?
The ice.
No.
No, not at all? Not even a little bit?
We slided down a hill and I fell down it like 14 times.
You gonna come say hi to everybody?
Oh, wait, can I tell you something?
Yes.
I think ice, or when I was flying down the hill, my penis hit a rock.
Nathaniel!
It's true! It was just like, look, it was just like this.
Is it okay?
No.
Did it hurt?
Yes.
Do you think you'll still be able to reproduce when you get older? He left the room. That's my son. He says the damnedest things. He says the damnedest things. So, yep, that's my little boy. He's awesome. He's so cool, dude. He says it like it is. He must have. Let me tell you what he's been doing. He has been getting, you know, the cookie sheets, a metal cookie sheet that you can cook cookies on. He's getting the cookie sheet and he's sitting on it and going from the top of our hill and rolling all the way down. Hey, Bear. So that somebody else just asked me this. So since I took 0.25, it's been like 11 days. Before that, it was 10 days, and before that was 5 days. So he's been sliding down that cookie sheet and going, you know, so I believe him. He probably did hit his peen on a rock. Earlier today, he was in here and we were like wrestling around and I was smacking his hiney and he goes, Mom, that's not cool. You're not supposed to do that. And I said, what do you mean? Like, I can't smack your little tushy. And he's like, Mom, that's not cool. I'm an older boy. I was like, you know what? You're right. I'm sorry. It's like certain things he's like funny, and then other things he's like, Mom, don't do that. I'm a big boy. Yeah, so the reason why I came on here in the first place was to talk about pregnancy and Suboxone. Pickle Rick, I'm going to kick you in the butt if you don't stop saying that's assault. That's not true. I'm talking like, well, what is it when we start, he's wrestling on me. Hey, Kelsey, I'm so excited. I can't wait to come for you to come on. Well, did you leave some mean remarks to D-Bear? Because I was just talking about that because people are like leaving nasty. Hold on, Micah. I see you, girl. People are leaving nasty comments like, you're not going to make it. You're never going to get off Suboxone. You must have failed because you haven't made a video. Like, why would you say that? You know, that's what people are saying to me on there. And it's like they're almost wanting me to fail. And I don't understand that. You know? And this is what I want to say. What if I did fail? What if I did take Suboxone? What if I was back on Suboxone? And I came here and I was honest and said, you guys, I couldn't do it. It was too hard. I'm back on Suboxone. Like, and... You know what I mean? Like, people are so nasty on the internet. And they just don't give a fuck, man. Hey, Nat. What's up, girl? Y'all, Kelsey, are you still in here, girl? Kelsey is going to come tell her story Sunday, y'all. And she is literally she is literally famous on this app. You need to come on here right now so we can practice. Come on, Kels. I just sent you an invite. Jump up here with me. I'll help you out. You won't be embarrassed, okay? You won't be scared. I'll help you. I'll ask you questions. This girl is literally a fucking hero in my book because I know what she's gone through because I've gone through hallucinations like that. So Kelsey Conley is going to tell her story on Sunday, and she is the girl whose video I shared on my TikTok who when she was in her active addiction. Here she comes. She's actually going to come on. Hey, girl.
Hey, how are you?
Cool. I'm doing good. I'm so excited to have you on Sunday. You have no idea.
I'm excited too. I'm a little nervous. I don't know why my camera's not showing.
You don't listen to me. I don't know why either, but you don't have to be nervous at all. I want you to understand something, okay? I used to shoot meth, and I have had hallucinations that were so vivid and so real that I ended up in the hospital in a coma for 7 days. So I understand.
Yeah, that's scary too. That's very
You know,
scary.
I never got physical with myself, like, hurt myself like you did. But I mean, I could have, I'm very grateful that I didn't, but it could have been me, I could have done the same thing you did.
Right? And anybody could. And what's also scary about the hallucinations too is that like you really, really believe that it's there and nobody else like is everybody's telling you that it's not. And that's what is the worst part about the hallucinations because that makes you panic even more. Like, oh my gosh, I'm telling you it's here, but then they're like, no, it's not there. But I used to have hallucinations all the time too. I never did methamphetamines. I'm from
Mhm.
Baltimore. So like methamphetamines isn't really around here.
When
So
you got, listen to me, when you were going to get those caps, you thought you were getting caps of heroin, right?
yes. Yep.
And it was bath salts that they sold you.
Yes. In Baltimore, so they call it scramble, and really it's like this white substance that they mix the heroin in, but it's a substance. So like you can't really ever tell what's in there. So I just took it as a grain of salt and I thought it was heroin, but I don't even know what bath salts look like, to be honest with you. I'm assuming it's the stuff that you put in the bathtub. I don't know. But I guess it was a lady that I've never met before. It was late at night. So I had actually ended up talking to the head guy that sold like that, takes control of the guys on the corner and has them sell his shit. And one day I told him about it because like I was down there and there was these people and they were like, you need to go over here and get this shit. And I was like, no, you don't. Like I bit 5 fingers off taking that shit. And this guy was like, why are you telling people my shit's this, like that you did this? And I was like, because I did. And he was like, well, what time did you get it? And I was like, 10 o'clock at night. And he's like, well, we go in at 9 o'clock. So he's like, who was the person that sold it to you? And I described the lady. And he said, oh, I know her. She's a junkie. He said, we're going to take care of her. And I never seen her ever again. So I don't know what happened to the lady. But yeah.
I'm so when I seen your video and I heard your story, I could not look away. I could not, like, I was in your story. Could not stop listening to you. And that's why I was like, I want to get her on my channel like ASAP, because I have a YouTube channel. I have this TikTok, and I want people to hear that could happen. What happened to you also happened to a girl in North Carolina, only hers was because of meth psychosis, and she took her eyeballs out.
I read about that. Somebody had posted that on, I think, your post or something like that, that a girl had pulled her eyeballs out. That's extreme. That's a little bit, I think, worse than me. Like, she'll never be able to see for the rest of her life. Like,
Yeah, I know, right? Right. But I know the hallucinations are so real, until still to this day, some of the hallucinations that I had, I still have to remind myself that they didn't really happen, because that's
right,
how real it was.
right.
you know so don't be nervous. See how easy this is. And on Sunday it'll be so easy. You could just come on, and what I will do is I will say, okay guys, I'm going to let Kelsey introduce herself, and I'm going to ask you to tell everybody what your name is, how long you've been sober, and then I will have you share what your life was like when you were growing up. Like, did you come from a good family? Were your parents divorced? Were you molested, or did you have any trauma when you were younger? And then after you share about what it was like when you were growing up, I'll ask you to share about how you started using drugs. Like, was it because you were in high school and you were triggered? Did you hang out with friends? Did you try it because you were curious? And after you share with us how you started using, then I'll have you share with us the worst thing that ever happened to you in your active addiction, and then how you got sober.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I can do that.
Yeah,
It'll
super
be a
easy.
talk show. It'll
Super
be,
easy. And I'm sure that we'll probably have like 100 something people on here. So be prepared.
So I have a question for you. How are you feeling coming off
I feel okay. So a lot of people have been asking me, so I want to go ahead. So, I started on January 10th, and what I started to do was I started to not take anything for 5 days is what I did at first. So I didn't take any medication for 5 days, and I made it a whole 5 days, and then on the sixth day, I took 0.25 of a milligram. Okay. Then I went 10 more days till from January 16th to January 26th and didn't take anything. And then on January 26th, I took 0.25 of a milligram. And so now I'm trying to go 14 days without taking anything before I take 0.25. And I'm just trying to slowly kind of disconnect myself from the medication. But I'm going to be honest with you, what's hard for me is that after a couple days of not sleeping, that's when I start to feel like I can't do this. I need to take something because I'm not able to sleep. Even I'm taking melatonin. I got Klonidine called in. And that's what starts happening to me is then I start to go kind of Looney Tunes because I'm not sleeping at all.
That is the worst when you don't sleep. Like, so you're really strong for getting through that because sleep is like my favorite thing. And I don't know if I could I mean, of course, when I was using, I went days without sleeping, but it's a really hard thing. So I really respect you for that. Like,
another part that has been really hard for me is that my stools, I cannot shit a hard poop still. And my poop is so runny that it's making my butt bleed, dude. Like, it's bad. And so I know I don't come on here and I'm not crying and I'm not saying how bad I feel because I come on here and I'm having fun and I like talking. I also work from home. So I work from home for Dr. B and his treatment center. So I don't have to leave the house except for to take my son to school and stuff. So that's also helped me in the process because I can just kind of chill out and lay around the house, go for a walk to kind of get my mind off of it. But the part that's really been bothering me is the lack of sleep in my fucking ass, man. It burns so bad. I don't think you guys can understand. I've been putting Vaseline on my hind end because my butt is running so bad.
So that's probably because of the withdrawal. It probably might be wow.
And that's still happening. I mean, the first week, I understood why it was still going on, but I was like, damn, dude, it's been almost 3.5, 4 weeks now. You know what I mean? Like, but people keep telling me, they're like, I had the same thing going on for months. And I'm like, really? Damn. And then on top of that, the depression that my mind is like, that's the hardest part for me. That's the hardest. I could go through physical withdrawal anytime, day or night, but the depression that I have where I'm crying, where I don't want to get out of bed, where I don't want to go with my son and my husband to go do things. And then I feel super guilty because I have no energy and I don't want to move around. And then that's what is hurting me is that I am so depressed that I don't want to do anything.
It's all those feelings. Like, I know that Suboxone isn't like heroin or anything like that, but it's still it still helps. It's still a mind altering substance, and so is methadone. I'm on methadone, and that's my fear too. Is that how am I gonna be when I get off of it? Because I know that the two things that you mentioned, depression and sleeping, are the two things that usually trigger me back into addiction, and I just really commend you for it.
Well,
Because
I feel like you have a better situation because with methadone, you can do what's called a blind taper, where your clinic is like literally taking away milligrams and you don't know it. And so they can get you all the way down to like 1 milligram, and then you can start jumping off, and it's a lot better when you don't know that you're going through it. If I could do a blind taper or get on Sublocade, like, I recommend that for people because the mind is what is so powerful. Like, if my mind wasn't doing all this, I would probably be fine. Like I said, I can handle the physical withdrawal, but it's the mental part that's really taken a toll on me in my life.
Right. So they
So if
do
you
they
can,
do the blind taper for Suboxone at my clinic too, but I guess you have to see because you see it, so you see how small it is.
yeah,
So
and
that's how
see,
you know what it is.
and I honestly, I I've been on Suboxone almost 7 years, and so I was just so I love Suboxone. It saved my life and it's helped me so much. But I was just so ready to get off of it. Like I've been ready. Like I have a great job. I get to help people, and it was just the last thing I feel like that's been kind of keeping me on the chain. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Because you still are like that. That's how I feel too. You still are kind of a prisoner to something, and
Yeah,
and
and
it
I good.
it does suck. But I also feel like if I didn't ever get on methadone, like I don't know if I would be clean today. Like I don't know what it does, but I just know that it makes me feel normal. So that's why I'm afraid to get off because
That's why I wouldn't be sober. And so that's what I have to keep telling myself. Nicole, if you didn't get on subs, you wouldn't be alive today to help people or do anything. And so I have to keep reminding myself that, or else I start feeling down, because
yeah,
everybody, and also it's a lot of the reason why is because people on the internet who are like in recovery too, and they did it the abstinence way, and they're like, well, anybody can get sober abstinence, and I don't think a lot of people understand, like not everybody's situation is the same. Some people can't get sober through abstinence. Like I couldn't. I tried so many times. I had sponsors, I went to meetings, I did everything, and I could not get sober and stay sober with abstinence.
same here. I've been to rehab about 25 times,
Yeah.
and
and,
I,
you
I
know we tried to get sober through abstinence, and when you try so many times and you fail, then you start getting discouraged.
yeah.
you
So
know
my brother, um, he lives with me, and he's in active addiction, and
uh-huh.
that's another reason why I feel like I also need to still be on the medication assisted treatment right now because I'm living with somebody that's in active addiction, and that's
Yeah,
very hard to be around.
I
Trust me.
agree. I wouldn't get off either if I had somebody. My husband, he relapsed back in 2020, and me being on Suboxone saved my ass, you
Yeah,
know, because I would have relapsed too.
it's a very hard thing to watch, especially when you're clean. And like sometimes I get angry with him and then I feel bad about getting angry with him because I was once in that situation too. And like I got so upset when people would get upset with me because it's like I'm still a good person deep down inside and I try to look at it from that aspect, but it just it's just getting worse and worse because that's what addiction does. It gets worse and worse. So I'm
Is he
trying
a
to get
heroin addict?
I'm sorry, what?
Is he a heroin addict?
Yeah, he's a heroin addict. He's just his main thing is uppers. He smokes crack all day long.
Oh, baby, that's hardcore.
Yeah.
Um, I used to do that too. I did everything, but like, I can't imagine, like, here you go, baby. Tap to begin. I can't imagine how that is for you though to see him like that all the time. It kind of makes you mad because you start to have a resentment towards him because you're like, I know, because when my husband was relapsing, I was like, you motherfucker, you don't care about us. You don't really want to be sober. If you did, you'd get sober. But then I started saying, Nicole, he's an addict. He's sick. He is sick with the disease of addiction. And so I started having to say, like, pray about it and say, okay, like what I'm saying to him is wrong because he's really sick. He needs help.
Yep. Well, my
It's hard.
resentment really isn't with him. My resentment is with my family because I am angry with them and I'm getting better at it, but I'm just angry with them that they let him live here and get high, but if I even relapsed once, I was out the door. They didn't speak to me. They wouldn't have any kind of contact with me. I couldn't see my son, which is probably good that I couldn't see my son like that, but still, I just wonder, like, what makes him different from me? Like, why do you let him live here and he gets high, but you wouldn't even give me a chance to get clean in the house? I don't know, but
this is what my parents say. My mom, because my parents did the same thing with me. They kicked me out, but they allowed my sister Michelle to stay there and live there and go back and forth. And my mom says, like, every, we have a different relationship with each one of you because there's three of us girls. And so, like, my mom and dad said, like, the reason we put you out is because we felt like you were more capable than your sister was of actually, like, being able to, like, navigate being out there on my own. My sister was weaker than I was. And so they would let my sister almost like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they felt like, okay, we can kick her out and Nicole's going to go find a place to live. She'll have dope. She'll have money. She'll have a job. And they kicked my sister out, who has bipolar disorder and a lot of different mental health disorders on top of addiction. And she'll, like, hurt herself or commit suicide or something like that. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's
So
how my brother is. He has schizophrenia. So
I bet you that's why your mom and dad let him stay there, because they feel obligated because he has schizophrenia too,
yes, that's what they say, because they're afraid that if they kick him out, he'll commit suicide. Let me be a little bit more specific. So I call him my brother. He's actually my cousin. We grew up together in the same house. I was adopted pretty much. It's a long story. I'll tell you guys all about it on Sunday. But
Mm-hmm.
pretty much, I think that's a little bit more why I always felt a little singled out, is because I wasn't really related to them, and I guess it just made me feel like, well, I guess because he really is their grandson, because it's their grandson.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah. Okay, I
so
understand.
but
Totally.
they tell me what they told you, that they know that I would survive out there, and they don't think that he would. He's 33. I'm 27. So they think that they're going to be tied with him for the rest of their lives.
Also, what I've noticed is that us women, I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but us women, we are a lot more capable than men that are actively using drugs. I really truly believe that. I truly believe that. Um, like, I see it all the time with moms and their sons that are reaching out to get their sons help. They held on to their sons, and the daughters, it's not like that. Like, the daughters are put out, but the son is, like, almost catered to or babied. I see that a
Right.
lot.
That
But
that actually is a point that I've never even thought about, but that is so true.
true,
That
because
really
us
is
girls
true.
are bad. We're tougher than the guys are.
And did you ever notice? I don't know how it is. Are you in Arkansas?
Yep.
Because I heard you say Little Rock, I think, before on one of your videos. And one of my best friends that I went to rehab in Florida with was from Little Rock. And oh my gosh, I just love her so much. She still lives there, but she moved back to Arkansas. But I don't know how it is in Arkansas, but in Baltimore, there are so many more homeless shelters for men and so many more resources for men than there are for
Or
women.
for
Like,
women. Yeah.
and it's sad, and I feel bad for the women up here too that don't have children, because you really don't stand a chance in getting in a shelter unless you have a child and you're a woman. Like, that's mainly the circumstances in Baltimore. For I mean, there are women homeless shelters, but there's not many.
Here
But
in Arkansas, girl, I'll tell you this. It's not like it is in all the other states. They arrest the homeless population and put them in jail here. Like, we have a small homeless population, like barely any people. Like, when you drive through, like, there's not a lot of homeless people in Little Rock. I'm serious as a heart attack. Like, you'll see, like, a couple people at the stop sign, like, flying signs, and then, like, a couple tents, like, really out in the woods behind, like, the Kroger or something. But, like, they won't allow you to just be popping up tents and shit like that. They'll throw you in jail.
right, that's crazy. That's
It's not
crazy.
like, because when I went to California to work with Dr. B and them, there was tents all over the sidewalk. That would never happen here, dude. They would straight up take your shit and throw you in jail.
So what about when people are standing with signs? Like, do they get?
So they did pass a law that they are allowed to do that. So I'll never forget. It was like 6 years ago or something like that when they allowed it to start happening, and it was like everywhere on the interstate at the interstate at a red light. There was people sitting there. They would have like one guy had his kid and his wife and all three of them sitting out there flying signs. And like when we see, I'm not gonna even lie to y'all, like I've seen families with their like newborn babies flying signs, and I even do it. I call the police and I'm like, you need to come out here and get these folks because they're using their little baby. And I think that's wrong, like get that baby out of that situation. But it happens all the time. Like I'm the kind of person that as long as you ain't got your kid out there using your kid to get money, I will stop. I will ask you your story. I will give you $5 or $10. You can ask my son. My son, every time we see somebody flying a sign, we stop and we ask them what their story is. And we ask them, because I want to know how they got homeless. Why are they homeless? Is it because of addiction? Is it because, they came up on some bad luck? And I'm also trying to teach my son to have compassion for people that are out there in that situation.
That's how my son is too, and I think it's from seeing me struggle so much because my son's not about to be 9, and I'm pretty much an open book with him. I want him.
Me too.
I don't want him to ever think that drugs are cool or anything like that, and I want him to know that drugs can destroy you. Like, I just opened up to him not too long ago about my fingers. Like, I didn't want to tell him 2 years ago that his mother bit off her fingers because he was only 7 at the time. And I still think he's a little young to know about that. But he always says, like, Mommy, can we buy them some food or can we give them something? And if I'm alone, see, I got a problem with people lying to me. So, like, if somebody comes up to me at the gas station and it's like, we're broke down, like, we need some money, I'll look at them and I'll be like, listen, I'll give you money if you're honest about it. Like, if you're straight up and, like, you're ill or something like that and you need some dope or you need a beer or something like that, just tell me. Like, I respect honesty more than I respect lies. And then they'll be like, man, yeah, I'm just dope sick. Like, I need a pill. And I'm like, here you go. Like, I don't know.
No, I totally understand. There's this one guy that flies a sign here and it says that he needs money for beer, hookers, and drugs. And I'm like, hell yeah. I roll down the window and I give him the money because I'm like, I totally understand. I would rather you say that than to be like, oh, I'm going to put gas in my car. You know what I'm saying? When you don't even have a car or something.
There's this guy that has a sign and he stands out every day and it says too ugly to prostitute. So
that's hilarious. Well, I guess I'll let you get off here, but I'm super excited to have you on Sunday night, y'all, 7 p.m. Central, which is 8 p.m. Eastern. And don't be nervous. It'll be awesome. Okay.
Okay. Thanks for having me on. I'll see you Sunday.
All right. Bye, Kelsey.
Bye.
So she is awesome. Y'all, what do y'all think? She's a fucking trooper, man. When I saw her story, it literally took the breath out of me. I was like, I want to hear more about her, and she is a blessing. I want her to get to a point where she goes and she tells her story all across the nation and shares her story with people, going to high schools, going anywhere that she can tell her story to help other people not make the same mistakes. And that's what we're trying to do here. If you guys haven't caught on to the gist of why we tell our stories on here, it's not because I'm proud of all the stupid shit I did in my active addiction. Sure, I can laugh about the things I did. But the reason why we share our stories is because we want to help other people not make the same mistakes we did, and yeah. And also sharing my crazy, wild using story times. That's relatable. You guys can understand that. And a lot of you guys, did you know that the most engagement I get on my page is when I share my active addiction story times? That is when I get the most engagement, the most comments, the most shares, the most likes, is when I'm sharing with you guys what I went through when I was in active addiction. Because this is what I truly believe. you can't get through to people that are actively using drugs unless you can get on their level. And you can, they can say, okay, that bitch has been through what I've been through. She crazy like me. And that's when you connect with people who are struggling. Okay. When I share my recovery content, the people that engage with my recovery content are people who are in recovery already. And so, which is amazing. I love sharing my recovery tips with you guys. My relapse prevention plan that I typed up that I made a video about. Super proud of that, you guys. I was so excited to share with you guys that relapse prevention plan, but that's for those of you guys that are already in recovery. And so I'm trying to reach people that are not sober, that need support, that need help. And also, I seen a couple of you guys commenting and saying that your insurance somewhere wouldn't take your insurance. If you guys are needing treatment, I have outpatient treatment scholarships for Dr. B's treatment, but it's outpatient. So it's not like a residential where you live on the premises. It's outpatient. So if you live in Santa Ana, California, or anywhere in California, and you want to do outpatient program, I can get you hooked up for free. So, anyway, yeah, that's how also, here's another thing. When I'm bringing up these stories and these memories of the crazy shit I did in active addiction, it also helps me to realize how far I have come. Like, I'm a miracle. I'm a miracle that I'm alive. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't be alive. Yeah, Felicia, you do. Yeah, you got to have your doctor call it in. That's why I share the active addiction story times. And I never want people to get it twisted, because I know a lot of people are like, oh, she just shares those stories because she misses getting high. That's not true, okay? Like I said, I share these stories because I want to connect with people who are struggling. And I want you guys to know that you're not alone. And the reason why I share about being on Suboxone and trying to get off Suboxone is because I know a lot of people are going through Suboxone, tapers too. Oh, I'm sorry, DeBear. I'm sorry about that. Rest in peace for your son. For those of you guys that don't know, every day we have a live stream, okay? Every day we have a live stream at 7 p.m. Central, and I'm going to share with you guys how I do it. So normally we have Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We do just regular recovery content. And on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I usually have a speaker. But this week, I switched it around because we're going to have Kelsey on Sunday. And Kelsey's story is going to be like a really big story. And I'm really, really excited to have her on. And I'm telling you guys, when she comes on, I want you guys to share it all over the place, because I want people to hear her story, and I want them to hear about the dangers of how this could happen to anyone. Whenever I shot up the crap that I was picking up off the floor whenever I was hallucinating at my friend Tara's house, I literally spiked a fever and went into hallucinations right away, and I started crawling on the floor, and then I walked out of the house and went like walking down the road, and the next thing I know, the next door neighbor called 911. Well, after she called 911, the police pulled up, and they were like, "Ma'am, are you okay?" Well, they noticed that I wasn't okay, and so they called the ambulance, okay? The ambulance came and picked me up. Do you guys know that I'm still paying ambulance bills from that time? They take my state income tax because of all the bills that I had accrued from going to the emergency room high. But I went to the emergency room, and while I was in the emergency room, I was hallucinating that my friend Joe with the one leg, I was hallucinating that he was in the trash can and he was rolling around. Like, it was one of those trash cans that has the wheels on it. Well, he was rolling around in the trash can, and I was trying to talk to him. Well, after like 4 or 5 hours in there and them not really helping me, I decided, you know what, I'm out of here. I'm leaving. And I took off running and ripped all the crap off me and walked out of the hospital AMA and went walking down the road, walking down Markham Avenue. Well, as I was walking down Markham Avenue, I remember, I'll never forget about it, I started hallucinating that every single car that was passing me by was trying to proposition me for sex. Okay? And I really thought that this was happening. Hey, oh snap! I'm just dropping in, been on subs for a long time now, and I just can't. Yes, you can, okay? We're taking it one day at a time over here. One day at a time together, all right? And if we have to take, like I said, if we have to take a little bit of the 0.25, we take a little bit of the 0.25. But we're separating ourselves each day farther and farther from the medication, okay? So just start a taper and start a real long taper and get down as low as you can, okay? And then just ease off, slowly but surely. Hey, Christina. So sharing personal lived experiences isn't glorifying. Glorifying would be, damn, I miss getting high. I wish I could still get high. Getting high was the best. Sharing horrible experiences that happened to me in active addiction is not glorifying. And like I said before, I want to reach people that are still struggling in active addiction. And the way that I connect with people that are struggling in active addiction is by sharing my relatable experiences that happen to me in active addiction. I've been doing this for almost 5 years now on social media, and I kind of got it down of what works and what doesn't. And so it works. And I connect with people who are in active addiction because they can relate to my stories. Over 11 days, 12 days since my last 0.25. But you guys got to hear me. I started on January 10th. So this has been almost a month that I have been doing the days in between the 0.25. So hopefully we'll be able to wrap it up and not take 0.25 no more. You know what I'm saying? And so to each their own, okay? To each their own. If you don't enjoy my content, you don't have to be here. You know what I'm saying? But I know what works. I know how to reach people that are struggling with addiction because I've been doing it for years. You know, if it didn't work, I wouldn't do it. Also, while we're here on TikTok, TikTok's not an AA meeting. TikTok's not a recovery group. TikTok is fun. TikTok is where we can get down and tell crazy stories. TikTok's where we can fucking put up a picture of crack rocks and have our face on it and say, what would we do if crack could talk? I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. If you want to watch content of mine that's all about recovery, all you got to do is slide on over to my YouTube channel. There's over 1,000 videos on my YouTube channel. I have big book step studies. I have relapse prevention videos. I have videos about everything on my YouTube channel. But like I said before, you have to evolve with the times. All right. There's a reason why people like Storytimes, and there's a reason why people like the content that I make. It's because they can relate to it, you know? Oh, it's not just annoying. It is the worst thing in the whole wide world. And let me just tell you, I went 5 days almost without any sleep during this bullshit, okay? And so I know how hard it is. And so imagine being me and going days and days and days and days and days without sleep. While my husband's asleep and my son's asleep and everybody else is asleep. You know, it's hard. And if you guys ever are watching my content and you wonder, like, why did she make this video? Just ask me. Just ask me. There's always a reason why the videos I put up, because, like, for instance, If Crap Could Talk videos, those videos. I was watching my friend Macaulay Sexton from Sexton Sobriety, and he had made a couple of those videos. And I saw how well the videos were received and how many people enjoyed them. So basically, those videos are a way for me to tell stories from my active addiction and put a humorous spin on it and make it funny, because it is funny. Okay, it honestly, it's funny and sad all at the same time. It's dark humor. I almost burned my whole fucking apartment down high on Oxycontin, because I was trying to smoke a cigarette at the same time while I was nodding out. Okay, now we got to put on this Olaplex. I'm going to show you guys, has changed my hair's life. It's called Olaplex No. 6 Bond Smoother. Yeah, they're hilarious, aren't they, Kay? They're hilarious. And I honestly, you guys, I just haven't been in the mood to make like recovery videos about recovery where I'm talking about like how to stay sober and stuff, because I just hadn't been in the mood to do that lately. I need to laugh. I need to have fun. And so that's what I've been doing, is laughing and having fun. But I always make content to try and help people with their recovery. And if you guys ever want, like I said, my relapse prevention plan, just message me and I'll send it to you. It's a really, really good message. It's literally step by step on how to prevent relapse. And I've spent hours on live streams talking about how to stay sober. And I can do that right now. If you guys have questions, I can literally help you guys right now. All you have to do is ask me. Okay? So next week, Thursday, I'm going to get my hair cut, and I'm having a consultation with my hairstylist for my it's called, it's a bond smoother. It's called Olaplex No. 6. And so, sure, what's your question? Ask me any questions you guys got. Okay? So, I'm going to go meet with my hairstylist on the 10th, which is next week, I think. It's on Thursday. Okay? And what I'm thinking about doing, and y'all tell me what y'all think, is I was going to just jump in head first and do a split dye where one half is one color and one half is the other color. But I said, you know what? That's too much of a commitment right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to consult with her about getting the money pieces done. It's with a fashion color, either purple or like a teal bluish color. So when I come back, I will have either teal or purple hair. Yes, exactly. And so I'm not really a high maintenance kind of girl. So that's why I'm going to do just the little front pieces at first and see how I like it. Now, if I like it, I'll do a balayage and get it kind of like ran through my hair, or maybe even get it underneath. You know what I'm saying? Well, I don't really have any anxiety medicine. I just have Lexapro. So I don't take anxiety medicine because I was addicted to Klonopin. So I can't take it. But I mean, when I run out of my Lexapro, then I don't get anxiety right away. It doesn't happen until about 3 or 4 days without the medication. And then I start really not feeling good. And one time I went like 7 days without my Lexapro, and I was at work because I was still working. I was working at Hallmark at the time. And so I was unable to get my prescription filled for like 7 days. And I went to work and I started going through these like fight or flight episodes. And so it was really scary actually. But yeah, when I used to take anxiety medicine, when I didn't have it, it was horrible. And I would be super, super upset. that's why I think it's important, like if you guys are taking medications, to make sure that you stay up to date on your refills, and all that stuff, which I know sometimes, accidents happen. We're going to clean my rings, okay? Accidents happen and you can't get your prescription filled, or the doctor forgets to call it in, that kind of thing. Now that sucks, and I totally understand that too. Like my doctor, I called in my Wellbutrin and my Lexapro, and he denied my prescription, and I'm like, why are you denying my prescription? Because he wants me to come in, that's why, and pay him money for an appointment. They do that about every 6 months or so, because they don't want to give me a refill unless I come in, which it's like a medication that I've been on for like years. Okay, so whenever my husband proposed to me, y'all want to hear what he did? So I had just gotten out of treatment. It was 2015, and I was going to an AA meeting. My husband would pick me up. He would take me to my AA meetings and drop me off and stuff. And because he wasn't really into that kind of stuff. My husband's not like, he doesn't really like doing meetings and stuff, just me. And so he was picking me up and taking me to my AA meeting, and he dropped me off and he came back to pick me up. And at the time we had a red, this is a jewelry cleaner. We had a maroon Honda truck. It was like one of those trucks, super cute. And I got in the truck with him and he goes, can you open the sunroof? It's like really hot in here. So I was like, okay. So I opened the sunroof, and all of a sudden the string fell down, and on the string was my rings, my wedding and engagement ring. And so he had already asked me to marry him like a million times. And this right here is tourmaline moonstone. It's really pretty when y'all see it in the light. It like flashes. Oh yeah, there you go. Super duper pretty. But he asked me, then that's when he asked me to marry him. Well, that was in 2015, and we didn't get married until February of 2019, which our anniversary is going to be, I think it's February 20th. Yeah, February 20th, 2019 is our anniversary. And we'll be married for 3 years. But we've been together for a long time. We've been together for 10 years, since 2012. And so I like to get my ring and get it all washed. It's not a full carat. It's 3/4 of a carat. But, honey, that's enough for me, and I love it. And at the time, my husband, he worked for the jewelry store that we got it from. So instead of paying $4,000 for it, we got it for $1,300 because we got it at wholesale at cost. So we really lucked out, and it's paid off, and it's mine. Do I have a P.O. box? No, but I'll give you my address. Ain't nothing but a thing. Yeah, you can have my address. So, I'll tell y'all some more stories though, okay? So, let me tell you the story about... I'll tell you about the story when I first met my husband. Y'all want to hear it? Anybody want to hear my story of when I first met my husband? So, in 2012, I was going through some things, okay? I was going through some things. And I had just gotten my car... it just got taken. So let me tell you what. First, I got to tell you how I lost my car. Then I can tell you how I met my husband. So I was living with Mr. Lawrence, just like I told you guys. And one day, my friend Gerald, crazy ass motherfucker, called me and he was like, "Hey, if you'll come pick me up, and take me to get some Roxy's, I'll buy you one." And I was like, "That's a deal, I'll take it." And so I went and picked him up in North Little Rock. And we drove over to my dealer's house, Z, because we both bought from him, and we both got some Roxy's, and he had a bottle of Xanax in my car. So we couldn't wait, So we pulled over at the car wash, and we fixed up in the car wash and, got high, shot up. We both were needle users. And then I drove out of there. Well, honey, as soon as I turned out of that motherfucking car wash, there was a popo right behind me. And I knew it, and he automatically started fidgeting, and he threw that bottle of Xanax underneath the passenger side seat where he was sitting. Well, that cop turned on them blue lights, and she pulled us over right away. And she came right over to his window and said, I seen you throw that underneath the car. Get out and put your hands on the, put your hands in the air. And so he got out of my car, and she reached underneath there, and that's when she found the bottle of Xanax. And so she arrested him and put him in the cop car. Then she came over to my side, and I had literally, listen to this, y'all. I had literally gotten that syringe and stuck it up my, you know what. And so I get out, I have on these little Daisy Duke white cutoff shorts and a little crop top, and that needle stuck up inside of me. And so she pats me down, she has me lift up my shirt, shake out my titties, make sure there's nothing underneath my titties. And then she says, well, you can go on your way. So I get in my car and drive off. And she's like, oh, no, ma'am, you ain't going in your car. I'm taking your car. We're impounding it. And I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, you're driving without insurance. You're driving without tags. And she was right. My tags were expired. So she took my car and she impounded it. I called Mr. Lawrence and had him come get me. And I was crying my eyes out. Called my parents. I'm like, Mom, Dad, please help me get my car. Please. My mom's like, nope, you're on your own on this one. We're not getting your car out. Okay, now this car, y'all, I bought this car in 2000 when I graduated. I put $5,000 down on it. And it was my car that I bought. Look how shiny that is. I had bought it on my own, okay? And I had paid it off. And so this was like my ride or die car. It's 2012, so my car was 12 years old. It was a little blue Ford Focus, navy blue. And so I did not want to lose my car. It was my only asset that I had in active addiction. Okay, only asset. And so I was like, I've got to get this car. And if I can't get it, I've got to get money for it. I'm not going to just let the impound yard have it.
You probably told him this already.
Uh-huh. No, I hadn't. I'll tell him about it today. So,
did you not do TikTok? TikTok wasn't even a thing when Dad did that.
No, it wasn't. So anyway, I was like, I got to get my car out. I got to at least get my car out or get money, right? So I immediately put my car up for sale on Facebook Marketplace. And I'll be damned if this lady said, I'll buy it. And I was like, what? She said, I'll buy it. So she came and met me, took me to my mother and father's house to get my title. I signed the title over to her, and she gave me 3,000 bones.
Sure. Tell him.
About the snow and the ice. It's icy outside, Nate.
And Dad.
And Nate wanted me to tell you about my husband crashing his truck a couple of years ago on the road that we live on, literally. He went to turn his neck to the left, and he had like a seizure or something, and he literally drove right into a telephone pole. Okay, Nate? I told him. We were so worried for him. So anyway, I got the $3,000, and I
wasn't looking.
No, it was a freak accident. I got the $3,000, you guys, and I remember, I'll never forget it. I gave my parents like $1,000 to pay some credit card bills for me, and then I took the $2,000 and I met up with my girlfriend Alicia. She had a car, and me and her went, and we went to meet my dealer Z, and we went and got so many Xanaxes and so many more Roxys, so many. And that night, while I was with her in her car doing what I was doing, I ended up overdosing myself. I'll never forget it, because it was like the next thing I knew, I woke up to being in the hospital and people standing over me. And it was because I had been taking Xanaxes, and then I shot the Roxys. So I put myself out. So anyway, that is how my car got impounded. So this is how I met my husband. this is how it all links together. So I still had my job working at Kroger. So I was walking from Mr. Lawrence's house every day to Kroger. I'm hungry. So I was walking every day to Kroger for my job. Well, while I was walking to my job, this guy that I knew from Cocaine Anonymous came in. His name was Hunter, and he was talking to me about how him and his old lady needed a roommate. Okay, he was like, "Man, we're gonna lose our apartment. We can't afford to pay for it on our own. We need a roommate." And I was like, "Oh, you need a roommate, eh? Well, honey, it just so happens that I need somewhere to stay too. I need somebody to take me back and forth to work every day. If you can take me back and forth to work every day, then I'll be your roommate. I'll pay the $400 a month rent, right?" And so it was a deal. Shake on it. We shook on it, and I moved in with them that day. I had never met his girlfriend a day in my life. And he shows up with me and all my bags, and I'm moving in. When I tell you this girl was so cool, if my man had brought some girl home, I would have flipped my shit. But not Kaylee. Kaylee was like, "Hey girl," she brought me in, took me underneath her wing, and we became best friends. So I'm living there. They're taking me back and forth to work every day. We're getting high together. I mean, life is grand, right? One night after work, it was on the weekend, I was like, "Man, I want to have a party. I want to have people over." And so I said, "I'm going to invite some people over. Let's get fucked up." And so I called my friend Casey, this guy named Casey Rigdon. So I called Casey, and I'm like, "Hey, we're going to have a party. Come over, bring some friends, and let's get fucked up." So Casey comes over, and he brings this cute little red-headed hottie with him, right? And so automatically, y'all, when I seen Neil, he was sitting on my couch, which was my bed. He was sitting on the couch. I'm going to have some ramen. He was sitting on the couch, and which was my bed, and I was like, I looked over at him. I was like, "Hey, I really like your vibe." And he was like, "Oh, yeah?" And so we got to talking. Well, later on that night, he got a hotel room, and he invited me to come with him. And so me, him, and Casey all went to a hotel room. Well, as I was getting in his truck, I was going out to his truck, Neil stepped in front of me and opened his truck door for me. Honey, when he did that, I fell out. I was like, "Did you just open the car door for me? I'm in love." Okay, I never had anybody do that for me, right? And so he opened the car door for me, and I loved him from the moment I put eyes on him. Well, once we got to the hotel room, I think Casey thought that we were going to hook up because I had hooked up with Casey before. Because that's, me and him had a long history. But I was so enthralled with Neil. And so me and Neil didn't hook up that night. But what we did was we laid across from each other, him on one bed, me on the other, facing each other, and we talked all night long. We were high on methamphetamine. We talked all night long about our goals, that we wanted to be married, how many kids we wanted to have, what our parents were like, everything. And I really, really liked him. Well, he took me back to my house, and 2 days later, he called me and asked me if I wanted to go on another date. He said, "Do you want to get a hotel room?" And I said, "What the fuck do you think I am? I'm not no hoe. I don't want to just get a hotel room." He goes, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like that. Can I take you out, I was like, "Absolutely." And you guys, when I tell you, we were inseparable ever since. We were by each other's side every single day. Well, after about 2 months of being by each other's side every single day, I was like, I need some space. And I also need to tell the guys that I've all been fucking, because I had a whole bunch of different dudes that I was hooking up with. I need to get all these dudes together, call all them, and tell them that I'm in a relationship now. And so I told Neil, I said, "Hey, I need some time. I need some space to myself tonight. I'm just going to get some stuff done. Don't worry. I promise everything's okay. Just come over and hang out tomorrow," right? He was so afraid that I was going to break up with him. He was so afraid that I was upset with him. That night, he showed up on my doorstep with roses. And I was like, "Baby, what are you doing here? He showed up on my doorstep with his little dog in one hand and flowers in the other hand, and he had written me a handwritten letter. And I was like, listen, come in, sit down, let me tell you what's going on. I said, I have to get rid of all these guys. I said, I've been hooking up with all these guys and in my addiction, and I need to separate myself. So I went through my phone book and called every single guy in my phone book and told them all that I was in love, and I, got rid of them. And that was the first time I had ever done that. And because I had been in my active addiction and just wilding out and getting high and running the streets, fucking and doing all kinds of crazy shit. And so my husband was really something special to me. And that's why I wanted to get rid of all those people. So from that day forward, we were together, and we've been together ever since. And he put a ring on it, and he married me. So anyway, somebody said they wanted me to recap about Suboxones and pregnancy. So I had a young lady reach out to me today on TikTok. And she is pregnant, but she's been on Suboxone for 2 years, and she was wanting to get off of it. And so the reason why I started this live stream was because I wanted to make sure that I told her not to get off her Suboxone because she'd have a miscarriage. And so a lot of people online will tell you to get off of it because they're judgmental, right? They're judgmental. They're telling you to get off because they say things like, what about your baby? No, honey, your baby's going to be just fine. All right. What your doctor will do is switch you to Suboxone. Okay. And then they will monitor you through your whole pregnancy. And when you have your baby, then you can get off. But going and getting off of Suboxone while you're pregnant, you can have a miscarriage. You can have a miscarriage and you can hurt yourself. Okay, and you can hurt your baby. I love you, Kelsey girl. I love you. You're inspiring to me. I'm not a doctor, but I will tell you guys this. I work for a MAP doctor, Dr. B, and we have patients that are pregnant that we put on Suboxone. And I have worked with hundreds of women who have been on Suboxone while they were pregnant. And I seldom see a child that is born that has horrible withdrawal, okay? A lot of these babies come out and they're okay. They might have a little bit of the shakes, but they are okay. So please, if you're worried about your baby having withdrawal, let me just tell you this. When your doctor meets with you, what they do is they're going to do a risk-benefit analysis. The risk of you jumping off of Suboxone while you are pregnant is great because you could have a miscarriage or you have a miscarriage. What was I saying? Why can't I even think about what I was saying? Anyways, you could have a miscarriage or you could relapse, okay? So the benefit of you staying on subs outweighs the risks. Outweighs the risks. So the risks outweigh the benefits of you getting off is what I'm trying to say. Y'all understand what I'm trying to say. So don't try to come off while you're pregnant. Okay? Absolutely. Most babies don't have any withdrawal. Most babies don't even get that much of the medication. What do I do about my recovery with my C-section? And will anesthesia be okay? Sam, are you on subs? I'll tell you this. You tell your doctor that you're on subs, and they will take the appropriate action. If they need to use, a different kind of painkiller, they will. Or if they most of the time, if your doctor already knows that you are on subs, they'll either have you stop taking it before you go into labor, like 3 days before, or they will use something else on you. But they will absolutely take care of you. You will be just fine, okay? Suboxone doesn't have the naloxone in it, which honestly, you guys, I learned that, naloxone, the part of the medication that is active is the buprenorphine. So you ain't got nothing to worry about. Be honest with your doctor. Let them know what you're on Suboxone for or Suboxone, and they'll help you out. Hey, J Money. But I'm doing really good for anybody that's coming over here to ask about my Suboxone. I'm doing really good. I haven't taken 0.25 in 11 days. So we're just trying to keep on pushing forward. But like I said, if I need to, I will. Can an OBGYN help switch you from Suboxone to Subutex? I think your doctor will do that, your sub doctor. So the reason why they switch you from Suboxone to Subutex, honestly, you guys, what they're learning now is that the naloxone doesn't have a negative effect on pregnant women, but just to be safe, they switch them from Suboxone to Subutex. And some people have like allergic reactions to naloxone and stuff. Like I know some people who when they take Suboxone with the naloxone, it makes their tongue underneath like break out in like these blisters. Hey, what's up, baby? Hey, Brian, what's up, baby? I love you. Hope you're doing good. You just relaxed my mind so much because it's been weighing so heavy that I'm trying to get pregnant. Felicia, I promise you, baby, you're going to be just fine. Okay? Yeah, you could be allergic to the naloxone or some of the filler that's in the Suboxone. It'll make their tongue like really raw underneath. So talk to your doctor because they can switch you to Suboxone pills. They can switch you to Zubsolve, which is itty bitty little minty Suboxone pills. And that can really, really help you guys. Yes, Michelle, thank you for reminding me, but let's talk about it now. So, Michelle came over and she asked me a question about people that are on methamphetamine that are prescribed Suboxone. Now, I want to talk about this, okay? I think this is wrong. If you are strictly a methamphetamine addict and you are not addicted to opiates and your doctor puts you on Suboxone, that is wrong. They are basically creating a whole new addiction for you, a whole new dependency. I have seen this before. Now, I am a meth addict and an opiate addict. Hey, Peekaboo. So that's why I am on Suboxone. A lot of people don't know that I'm an opiate addict also because I talk so much about methamphetamine. But I shot Roxy's. I was addicted to, before I got on the needle and started shooting Roxy's, I was addicted to hydrocodones, Norco-10s, methadones. I was taking the 40 milligram methadone wafers. And this is the reason why I didn't get on methadone, because I took methadone and abused it. I used to take the 40 milligram wafers and get fucked up. I used to be so fucked up on methadone that my hair started to fall out because I wasn't eating and I was staying up all night long nodding out. It was pretty bad. I was taking over 120 milligrams of methadone a day. And I stopped taking methadone cold turkey. So that's how I'm telling you. Like, I know all about it. But I was abusing it. Getting on Suboxone when you're a meth addict, that's wrong. How did I get the wafers? My friend Jason actually had them. The guy I got pregnant by when I was younger. So when I was like 23 or 24, I was in a relationship with a guy who beat me. His name was LD. He would beat me all the time. And I cheated on him with this guy named Jason. Well, while I was cheating on him, I got pregnant. Jason had the 40 milligram wafers. His mom would get them. That's how I got them. But anyway, now, I do see doctors put people on Suboxone that are poly substance users, people that are addicted to meth, opiates, cocaine. And that's why it works so well for me, and it helped me with all my addictions. And I try to tell people this, because I was a poly addict. When I got on Suboxone, it didn't just cure my addiction, but what it did was I still had cravings for meth and Xanax and stuff like that, but it helped me a lot getting on subs to fight my other cravings for other drugs. And so I can totally understand a doctor putting somebody on subs who has multiple addictions like that, but I have no idea why any doctor would put somebody on Suboxone that was only addicted to methamphetamine or only addicted to crack cocaine. That's wrong. What do y'all think about it? Or alcohol, yeah. So if a person was addicted to alcohol, I wouldn't put them on Suboxone if I was a doctor. I would put them on Antabuse or the Vivitrol shot. Because it's creating a whole new dependency. If somebody was just addicted to methamphetamine, which is an upper that is mainly a psychological withdrawal, right? We're not going to be like nauseated, throwing up, like addiction. Meth addiction isn't like meth withdrawal is not like opiate withdrawal. So you would be creating a whole new dependency. And so that person came into your office addicted to meth, and now you're sending them out with an addiction to meth and a new dependency to opiates. And so absolutely not right. I don't think that's right at all. You know what I mean? Now, I could see putting a person on Adderall or Vyvanse that had an addiction to methamphetamine and using that as a maintenance medication for them, because that person was already addicted to stimulants. But like putting somebody on an opioid that's addicted to stimulants, no way, man. That's not right. It's not right. And I think some doctors do that because they just don't know better. They don't know. You know what I mean? Just imagine, Blunts, if you didn't know, say you go into your doctor, you're a meth addict, and your doctor's like, oh, let me give you this medicine. It's going to help you with your meth addiction. And you don't know. You're just thinking, oh, this is going to help me with my meth addiction. And then 2 months later, you're like, I don't really want to take this medication anymore. And then you go to try and get off of it, and you're sick as fuck. And you're like, what the hell? And then you go to your doctor, you're like, Doc, what did you give me? And he tells you, oh, Suboxone, it's an opioid. And you're like, what? Now I have another whole thing that I have to worry about trying to come off of? Do you know what I'm saying? And I have heard of people having that done, but I don't think it's really that common. What do y'all, have y'all ever heard of that? Michelle, where did you hear of that, girl? Now, a lot of people think Dixie from Ice Cream Queen is prescribed Suboxone for her meth addiction, but she's not. She got prescribed Suboxone because she's also an opioid addict. She's also addicted to opiates. So a lot of people, when me and Dixie, we share our stories because meth is so prevalent in our stories. Like, meth was my first love when it came to drugs. When I first started getting addicted, if I had to choose between all the drugs in the world, it would have been methamphetamine, you know? Opiates came just a couple of years, like a few years after I started my addiction to methamphetamine. And so meth was my main, drug. Damn, that pimple's going to be big. Yeah, so if there's, see that struggling with alcoholism, I can totally understand being prescribed like naltrexone or like the Vivitrol shot, but not having any kind of opioid addiction and getting on Suboxone, like that's crazy to me, dude. Like that's like, I think that's fucked up, because now I feel like what the doctor's doing is creating a lifetime customer, and I feel like that's like dishonest. Like if I was a doctor and you came into my office and you were like, I'm an alcoholic, I need help, the last thing I would do is give you fucking Suboxone. You know what I mean? I'd give you the Vivitrol shot, because that will help you, My poor little dog. Look at her. She's trying to go. Good job. Did you go pee-pee, Jenna? She sure did. You can see that yellow snow. But I'm not a doctor, And I also seen a video that little Mickey made, and she was talking about how she works at a treatment center, so she sees it a lot. How she sees people this is another thing that I see happen with people that are on opiates. She sees people that come in that were addicted to like taking 2 hydrocodones a day or 5 hydros a day. And then their doctor gives them a prescription for Suboxone. And then they become dependent on that. And by the time she sees them again, they're on 24 milligrams of Suboxone. Why on God's green earth would you give somebody Suboxone that was addicted to taking a couple Norcos every day? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you just literally, I see that happen a lot too. And this is just my opinion. Don't get mad. I think that your severity of your addiction should be pretty fucking high to opiates to get prescribed Suboxone. I don't think you should just be able to go into the doctor and be taking a couple hydros and get on Suboxone, because Suboxone is going to be way too much for you. And the reason why I know this happens is because I have people reach out to me all the time. Their doctor says, here, you can take 8 milligrams once a day. And they call me and they're like, Nicole, I'm taking 8 milligrams and I am throwing up. I am fucked up. I can't hold my head up. And I'm like, it's because it's too much. It's because you don't need to be on Suboxone. People that need to be on Suboxone are people that have like literally a severe opiate addiction. You know what I mean? Severe. If you take Suboxone and it's fucking you up, then you don't need to be on it. Do you know what I'm saying? And like I said, Suboxone helped save my life, but I do see the wrongdoing that's happening with this medication, and how doctors are just like not preparing their patients and letting them know about the medicine, not letting them know, hey, if you need to get off this medication, you're going to have to taper, not letting them know that I want to help people. That's why I want to help people that are utilizing Suboxone or that are trying to get sober from opiates. I want to help people. What about chronic pain? So, if you have chronic, legit pain and you want to utilize Suboxone to treat your chronic pain, I think that's great, because what I feel about Suboxone is that it's less likely for you to be abusing Suboxone than it would be you abusing your Norcos or your Oxycontin or oxycodone. And so getting on 2 milligrams of Suboxone 3 times a day for your pain, I think that's much better than being on like Oxycontin or something like that. You know what I mean? But I'm just like, a lot of people don't understand how strong buprenorphine is. Like, I didn't understand how strong buprenorphine was until I started taking the medication. It's a strong medication, and that's why it's so important for people that are trying to get sober from opiates. This is what I believe. I believe if you're trying to get sober from opiates, then you should try to do everything you can before you get on something like Suboxone or methadone. Why do I believe that? Honestly, because give yourself a chance. Give yourself a chance to try and do the 12 steps. Give yourself a chance to try and do rehab and meetings and see if you can do it. I totally understand if you can't do it, and I understand the severity of like fentanyl addiction and people dying. And so that's why, but I don't believe that people should just be throwing Suboxone at people and that every person needs to be put on Suboxone. I believe that if a fentanyl addict comes in and they are trying to get off of fentanyl, I think that if we can get them into detox and get them into a residential program and then get them into a program that follows after that with long-term treatment to help them to where they don't have to. In my opinion, this is just me, I feel like Suboxone should be what you try after you've tried everything. Okay? And that's what it was for me. I had tried everything, and I gave it a good try. I didn't give it a fake try. I had a sponsor. I went to meetings. I was working the 12 steps. I was involved. I was doing everything that I was supposed to be doing. And I kept on going back. I kept on going back. I believe that Suboxone should be at that point where you've done everything and you just can't, you just like, fuck it, man. I can't, I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it. You know? And I also believe that I feel like doctors, and you guys know I work for a doctor. I love Dr. B. But he doesn't understand. He doesn't understand what it's like to come off this medication. Nobody understands what it's like. Nobody, until you start trying to come off this medicine, you'll never understand what I mean by the depression, by the onset of anxiety out of nowhere. Like, it's very difficult. It's not like an easy, like, oh, you're just going to taper off of it. It's not that easy. And I feel like more people need to talk about that so that way people can make better informed decisions when they want to get on Suboxone. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they give it out to minors. Oh, yeah. I've seen some. Yeah, I know some 17-year-olds that are on it. And that's another thing. Like, 17 years old, you should be given a chance to try and get sobriety through abstinence. You know what I'm saying? But see, then people bring up the argument, well, Nicole, if they keep relapsing, they could die. I totally understand that. But Suboxone is not going to be the magic cure that's going to keep them from relapsing. When it comes down to it, what comes down to it is that we have to have wraparound treatment. We have to have treatment that's not just going to the doctor, that's not just doing therapy, that's not just doing meetings. You have to have all-inclusive wraparound treatment for people. And the problem with that is people don't have insurance. People don't have the means. I know because I see it every day. That's why I'm trying to give people scholarships to come into treatment and get help, because it's like people want help, but then they don't have the money to do it, you know? And so anyway, I can go on and on and on. I got on Suboxone because I needed to get on Suboxone. I was in a bad way. I had gotten my son taken away from me. I had tried everything I could to get sober, and I failed miserably. And so getting on Suboxone saved my life, and it also allowed me to get my son back, okay? No, Suboxone is super expensive if you don't have insurance. That's why you have to get the generic. And listen, I believe in Suboxone 100%. 100%. But I also believe that as long as I've been on it, I have been in a comfort zone. I have been resting on my laurels. I have been laying back, right? I haven't been challenging myself. And so I probably could have been off Suboxone 3 years ago if I had challenged myself and pushed myself. I have a strong recovery. I have a lot of support. But I have fell back and started resting on that Suboxone because it's easy. It's comfortable. It's easy to be on Suboxone and not get off of it. You know what I'm saying? The hard part is pushing myself to get off, pushing myself to do more than just be on it. Y'all understand what I'm saying? It's like $300 if you don't have insurance. Suboxone is expensive. You have to get the generic and the pills instead of the strips. So the Sublocade shot is just straight buprenorphine, okay? And the strips are buprenorphine and naloxone. Generic is like not name brand. It would be like the Suboxone, non-name brand Suboxone pills. They have different manufacturers. The shot lasts for 30 days. So, and listen to me, you guys. I can say this because I know that it has been easier for me to be on Suboxone. And I know that I have gotten lazy in my recovery. I had kind of just been resting and kind of chilling. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I just wanted to have more of a challenge. Now that I have been on subs for almost 7 years and I've gotten a good foundation in recovery, I feel as if I can do it without Suboxone. I might be completely wrong. Shoot. I might try to get off and be completely fucking miserable. You know, I'm still taking 0.25 every 12 days or so. I'm not completely off of the medication. The medication hasn't completely left my system yet, you know? And so when I go completely off, I might experience horrible depression, or I just might not be able to do it. And if that's the case, I will be honest and I will tell you guys, I'm struggling. I don't think I can do this, you know? But I want to give myself the chance to at least try it. You know what I mean? And I think what happens with a lot of people on Suboxone that are in my same, they're in my same situation, is it's just easier, right? Yeah, so I get to like the 12-day point, and I'm like literally like at that point, I'm like, I feel like I have no energy. I feel like that my depression is horrible. And so it's like just gives me that little bit of relief. You know what I'm saying? And so I might do that for 3 months before I completely disconnect from the medication. But the point of all this is that I am disconnecting and I'm putting a farther and farther and farther between me and the medication. And I'm trying my hardest to really just not take this medication anymore, but I've been taking it for so long. It's like second nature to me. I have never had opiates, but I'm reading your comment, Willow. Yeah, so Emma, that's what I'm trying to do. Each day I'm trying to say one more. But I'm not even going to lie to you guys. Like I have really bad depression. I have days where I don't even want to get out of bed and I just cry all day long. And I don't show you guys that because I want to come on here and I want to have fun. And I want to do things that make you guys happy or inspire you to get sober or make you laugh or tell you crazy story times, you know? And I know a lot of the reason why I'm having these feelings is because I'm coming off this medication, you know? It's a lot harder than people think. And I've been such a huge advocate for Suboxone, but I wish somebody had pushed me a little bit harder, you know what I'm saying, to try to be without it. But then then what happens is people say things like, you know, this is life or death. You know, people don't want to push us and people don't want to say anything because they don't want to hurt us and they don't want us to relapse and die. Are you on Suboxone, Willow? Or are you just going to be having a C-section? Baby, if you're going to have a C-section, you're going to be just fine. They're going to give you an epidural, and you will have your baby. Then they'll give you like maybe 5 or 10 pills after that, and you'll be fine, sweetheart. You're going to be just fine, okay? Just don't only take them as prescribed, and then when you're done, you're done. And I have some people that are my friends that are on YouTube who they're trying to come off Suboxone too, and they're going through the same thing I'm going through, and we're all just trying to push each other. Ugh, I got emotional. Hey, Sherry, what's up, girl? Another thing, you guys, for those of you guys that don't know, hey, Bonta, what's up, baby? For those of you guys that don't know, tomorrow night we're going to have a closed members-only meeting on my YouTube channel. Now, this is not like an AA meeting or anything like that, but it's for members only. And what that means is I have a membership on my YouTube channel. It's $5.99 a month. I just started it. And because YouTube just started this thing where we can have like members. And so if any of you guys want to join my YouTube membership, like I said, it's $5.99. Go to my YouTube channel and there will be a little button that says join by the subscribe button. Click that join button and join that lowest tier, okay? And then tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Central, it will be members only meeting that we're going to have. So we can all share. I'm going to set it up on StreamYard so I can bring you guys up on the video with me. It's going to be super private because it's not going to be a lot of us. Now, if you don't want to join and you're like, I'm not paying $5.99 for that bullshit, that's okay, because on Monday nights at 6 p.m. Central, I have a totally free meeting that we do on Clubhouse, and it's just our voices and you don't have to show your face, and we talk and we share. And we already started. We did it last Monday. We set goals for the week. We talked about our medication assisted treatment. It's mainly focused on recovery with MAT, but if you're not on MAT, that's okay too. We would love to have you join us. But it's called Discovering Matt with Nicole. And the link to my Clubhouse is in my bio. So you guys really need to go check out. You click the link in my bio and you'll see it'll open you up to my little link tree thing, and you'll see the link for the Clubhouse, the link for our memberships to join my YouTube channel, a link to my Patreon, a link to my Instagram. And so I don't get paid from TikTok. I'm not in the creator fund. And that's why I created my memberships and my Patreon. I've had my Patreon for like 3 years. It's $2 a month. And that's where I upload like Storytimes and different videos like that. But it's all things that you guys don't have to do it if you don't want to. Okay, I just want to make that really clear, because a lot of people, whenever you start saying like, hey, it's $5, right? People start getting their, it's like they don't. And I don't understand, because like I provide so many free services that I don't understand why people are like that sometimes. But anyway, it's not like I'm trying to rip people off or anything. But the membership on my YouTube channel, that's an every Friday night at 6 p.m. Central. That meeting will happen no matter what, for members only. Then also when you join the membership, you get a special little emoji thingy by your name. And then once I get enough people in the membership, then what we'll do is we'll start doing more things together. But right now I just have it as every Friday members only meetings. Yeah. So Cassandra, if you want to get in on my recovery and doing the meetings with us, joining the YouTube for the $5.99 is the way to go. The Patreon is something that I've had going for a lot of years, like 3 or 4 years. And it's just where I upload like extra videos with different, like my Storytime videos. And honestly, if you join my YouTube membership, you get everything that you get in Patreon, plus the meetings that we're going to have. So I honestly need to do away with the Patreon and just keep the membership on YouTube. But I have like 15 or 20 people on my Patreon that are like my old school supporters that no matter what, they'll just stay there. You know what I mean? No, if you go to an NA meeting, you don't have to pay. But this isn't an NA meeting. This is like with me. This is an NA. I think the memberships, I think it's a reoccurring subscription, so it charges every month. So if any time you say, I don't want to do this anymore, you can always get out of it. Let me go get my computer and we'll go on there and I'll show you guys. But like I said, you guys, this is not NA. This is not a 12-step program. This is literally if you want to support me. Okay, I do literally 2 to 3 hour meetings every single night here on TikTok. I do online recovery meetings on Clubhouse. Like, these are like my free time that I'm putting in, and I did this for 4 years before I ever even thought about making a Patreon or a membership. So I didn't just come on the scene and start trying to charge people. You know what I'm saying? It's just something that you can do if you want to support me. You do not have to do it. So these meetings are called Discovering Matt with Nicole, and they're open recovery meetings to anybody that wants to join. But they're really focused on MAT and recovery, because that's what I'm going through and that's what I'm doing. So, yeah. Hey, Nate. Come here and clean up your room, buddy. I want to show y'all what I'm talking about. Nate, come here, buddy. No, I'm not going to wait. Come here. Okay. Yeah, I'm fixing to show you Anchor Girl. So like I said, the joining the membership, I'm straight up telling you guys, that membership is strictly for our Friday night connecting with me on Friday nights. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, Cassandra. And Cassandra, is that you from the meeting we had the other night? Is that you? If it was, Cassandra was there. She knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, so a lot of people don't think my time is valuable. And like, I put a lot of myself into this stuff. Like, I put a lot of stuff, my heart and my soul into this. And when I first started my YouTube channel back in 2017, 2018, I built my following and I built myself all the way up. And I paid my dues and I did everything I was supposed to do for free and all that. Now, this is something that I finally decided to do because I was taking time from my family, from my son, from, everything, to put it into helping you guys. Go pick up your room real fast because I'm going to be using it. Hey, Jennifer, pretty good, girl, pretty good. We're still on the straight and narrow. Okay, we were just talking about that. Let me show you all the joining my membership. But like I said, it really just gives you the opportunity to be our Friday night meetings. Now, if more people join the membership, then it'll entail I'll start doing more of the meetings. But right now, I'm trying to build it up. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Sweating my balls off. Whew. Okay. So I don't know if y'all will be able to see it because of the way. Oh, here it is. Yeah, you can see it. Okay, so if you have an Android, when you go to my YouTube channel, okay, you'll see a button right there that says join. Okay, you click that button and then it'll show you there's different tiers. And you can join whatever tier you want, but you only need to join the lowest one if you want to do our every Friday night meetings with us. Okay? And like I said, if you don't want to do that, that's okay, because every Monday night I do the free ones on Clubhouse. So I'm not trying to take advantage of people. It's only if you want to support me. Okay? Okay, if you have an iPhone and you're like, Nicole, I went to your channel and there's no join button. Don't worry, I got you. If you go down to my my video that says join Discovering Nicole's memberships and go to the chat. I'll show y'all. If you go to this video that says join Discovering Nicole's membership, then go to the live chat. I have pinned a link right there that you can go to that will take you to join. Bada bing, bada boom, my dears. So that's that. Then I'll show you guys. My channel is on 9,200 people on here. And so I put some shorts up, but all my videos are like over an hour long. Like, let me go to the playlist so I can show you guys, okay? Because I don't think y'all understand. Like right here, this is my whole story, okay? And I literally go through the episodes, all right? So that's my whole story. Oh, that's not supposed to be on there. Remove. And I just recorded this playlist this year, okay? And then you can, so it says my whole story. Then I also have a playlist where my ear itches, have crazy addiction story times, okay? So I know so many of you guys love hearing my story times. So, why can't I hear it? Why does it say it's muted? Hold on, guys. Boop. There we go. Story times. It's like people tell their story.
I am able to do, honey, I would have never even thought I would be able to buy a house, okay?
Oh, I'm talking about my house on another. Where's that video at?
Homes. Look at this one, y'all. Isn't that cute? Like, what?
What, girl?
They all kind of look the same, because they're just...
Where am I at? I can hear my voice.
Houses.
Videos.
Girl, I probably guess, let me guess, 500,000, Sonia? Exactly what I'm saying, Sonia.
Oh, here we go. Okay, see? That was where I was telling y'all about my, the house I'm trying to buy. Okay, so. Okay. So that's that.
Exactly what I'm saying. How much I was looking at.
Oh my gosh! Why can't I?
It.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, so I want to show you guys the Clubhouse link because, like I said, that's completely free, and we want you to come. Like, it's me and my friend Diana. She's co-hosting it, and the only thing that we need to work on is me and Diana need to be quiet so you guys can share because we like to talk a lot. Okay, so let's go to my TikTok profile, okay? And let me show you guys what I'm talking about. So here's my TikTok profile, all right? Oh my God, that already got 10,000 views on it? Holy cow. Okay, Discovering Nicole, here's the link that I'm telling you guys about, okay? So you click the link, right? And then it says you're about to open a link. You say open anyway. All right, so here it is. Here is my link tree, okay? That's the treatment center number that I work for. And then it says, okay, members only Friday night meeting at 6 p.m. Right here. That's how you can get to join that members only Friday meeting. Okay?
The truth.
So we'll go back. So that's easy right there. That's how you can access that. Okay? Then down here, the next one is our Clubhouse meeting. That is on Mondays at 6 p.m. Central. Okay? And so what you'll do is you'll download the app and then you'll follow me. You'll see my name, Discovering Nicole. Okay? And then it's every Monday at 6 p.m. Okay, then this is the self-recovery courses that I work for, Dr. Hawkman. Those are the courses that it's basically an online addiction recovery treatment course, and they're $99 a month, and it takes about 12 weeks to finish them, but it's literally ran by a board-certified psychiatrist. If you're somebody who's got CPS in your life and you need to go to treatment and show a certificate of treatment, you can actually use these certificates to show the police or any law you got problems with or CPS. So I've been working for him for almost a year now. and I share his link to that. Okay. Then I have my Mara meetings linked. For those of you guys that are on Suboxone and you want to connect with other people that are on MAT and get support, here you go. Medication Assisted Recovery Anonymous. Okay. And you can literally go to find a meeting and you can type in your state, or it'll show you the state. Pick a state, Arkansas. Okay. And then it shows where the meetings are at in Arkansas for Mara. Okay. So easy. I have everything linked for you guys in this link tree that will help you in your recovery. Okay. Okay. Next, we have my Patreon, and that's what I was telling you guys that I've had for like a couple of years, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. So, I have over 300 videos on here. It's $2 a month, and it gives you access to all these videos on my Patreon. And I started this back in 2018, so that's how far back the videos go. Okay. Let me see. And I don't really advertise it a lot, you know what I'm saying? Because it just wants you to join if you want to. That's Tiffany's podcast, Never Alone Podcast. This is a link to my addiction story, which is literally links you to my YouTube channel and links you to the playlist with my addiction story. Okay. I have it totally set up for you guys. Super easy. Then the addiction chat line that I run, you can go here and you can chat with me. I'll show you. See that where it says need help? Click here. And then you can welcome to the live chat. You can say start chat. And there I am, Nicole. How can I help you? Okay? All right. And this is the treatment center I work for, which is American Addiction Institute of Mind and Medicine. All right? All right. Okay. Okay, then's our RTR Facebook group. For those of you guys that don't know, my old name used to be Real Talk Recovery, and I still keep my Facebook group as Real Talk Recovery. And so this is a group that is open to all forms of recovery, and anybody is allowed to join. You just have to put in a request to join. It's a private group. Okay, and then my YouTube channel. And then my friend Sunny has Sunny's Wellness CBD, which I use his this stuff that you rub on your back. It helps a lot. And then people join my community, which honestly, it's just a way to have your name right here so other people can know that you're a part of the Real Talk Recovery community. And then I have recovery coaching calls. You can book a one-on-one call for 45 minutes. It's $25. And that's it. And I really don't have a lot of people do that, but honestly, some people do sometimes. And, when they do join and want a one-on-one call, 9 times out of 10, we're on there for way longer than 45 minutes. Because I just like to talk. And a lot of people, when they do want to do a coaching call like that, it's because they don't even know where to begin on their sobriety and they need support. And so what I do is I help write up a plan for them. I help write them up a relapse prevention plan. I help them get a support system in place. I help them collect phone numbers from people that they can call when they're struggling. I'm on their list of people that they can call when they're struggling. And I put a lot of time and effort into trying to help people to build their recovery and manage their sobriety. So that's just something I have on there in case anybody wants to do that. And that's it. That's all on my link tree. So anybody, like I said, I do a lot of stuff that is completely free. The things that are charged are just if you want to do that. You don't have to. So let's talk about anything. What else? Do you guys have any more questions? Me too. I'm so grateful for maintenance too. It saved my life. Yeah, and so I just want people to understand that the only reason why I made my membership is because people wanted to support me on YouTube. People wanted me, so I created the memberships and they wanted to have those private meetings. So I have a lot of people that are on YouTube that are not on any of my other social medias, and they wanted to have those private meetings every Friday. So every Friday without fail, we'll do a private meeting for members only. And then the Clubhouse one is very new. Me and Diana just started it. But like I said, we had the best time, y'all. Cassandra was on there. We got to talk to her. Another girl came on, but she didn't share, but she listened. And it was great. And actually, the replay is still up if you guys want to go listen to the Clubhouse meeting. And it's more or less just us all sharing where we're at for the week, what goals we are setting, what we're struggling with, and then we give each other feedback on how to help. So let's say one of you guys comes in and you say, my goals are for the week are to stay sober and work out. But what I'm struggling with is I'm overtaking my medication and I don't know what to do. Well, then after you get done sharing, any of us that want to share to help and give feedback will help and share, hey, I've been through that too. This is what I did and this is how I stopped overtaking my medication, and that will help. Big old bag of biscuits says, I boof most of my subs. So big old bag of biscuits, I don't know whether to think you're a troll or think you're serious because you comment some of the craziest stuff. But if you're boofing your subs, man, that's not good. All right? That's not healthy. That's not sober. That's not recovery. All right? You need to work on that. That's not good for you. You shouldn't be doing that with your Suboxone. You're supposed to take it as prescribed. And like I said, I've been there. I've never boofed my Suboxone, but I have struggled to take my medication as prescribed when I first got on the Suboxone. And so I understand. I totally understand, and I appreciate you being honest about it. I appreciate you being honest about it because honesty is where you got to start out somewhere. Well, big old bag of biscuits used to be, this cheese, he used to be cheese something, and I've dealt with him in the past before, but sometimes I just don't know how to take what he says. So I'm trying to get my damn Instagram. For some reason, every time I upload a reel to Instagram, they keep distorting the sound on my reels, dude. It's pissing me off. And here's the thing. I just want you to be successful in your recovery, Hey, Alex, or hey, Lex, what's up? Struggling to stop using. Totally understand. So you haven't been able to get sober yet? Okay, so what are you on? What drug are you on? Wow, listen to this comment. This lady just commented on my fucking page. This shit pisses me off so bad because, no, you don't know me. She says that I'm making it all about me because I share about my son being taken away from me. Let me read it to you. The child is forever damaged seeing his parents wasted, probably went hungry while they partied. No, bitch. My son wasn't even 1 year old, and my mother-in-law was taking care of him while I was wasted. Thank you. Then he was hopefully cared for by strangers. All this drama will haunt him forever. The mother is making it about her. The selfishness of being a druggie, putting a high ahead of an innocent child. You should hear the comments that I get on this Instagram page. It's crazy, dude. I will get some of the worst comments you've ever heard. One guy told me, you didn't get custody of your kid for 6 years. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? You don't even know what you're talking about. But these are the comments I get on my Instagram page. Listen, I understand that what I did was wrong, using drugs while I was, had a baby, but I've always been honest about it. My son was well taken care of, and my mother and father-in-law lived with us, so they took care of my son when I couldn't take care of him, and that's the straight up truth. Oh, you should listen to this one. You clearly, hold on. Having a child, you should make better decisions. Sorry, not sorry. If she was like that pre-baby, I would understand, but she became like this after the baby. No, dumbass bitch. I was addicted since I was 17 years old. Why don't you, like, do these people not watch my fucking page? You know what I mean? Oh, yes, I've been sober for 6.5 years. Optics. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you for being kind. Because some people just come in here and they just automatically assume and start saying horrible, nasty things, you know? It's hard, you guys. Like when you're trying to share your story and try to help people and then they're saying horrible, nasty things. Oh, I want to show y'all something, okay? So I ordered some more glitter eyeshadow so we can do some makeup looks next week, y'all. So I'm going to show you, okay? Do y'all like it when I do my makeup looks? I think y'all do. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So this is my favorite makeup artist. I want to show you. Okay. So her name is Danessa Myricks. I always tell you guys about her. She's a black owned beauty brand. She's beautiful. And okay, so look at this beautiful eyeshadow. Can we see that? Holy cow, right? Holy cow. You see that? That's one of the new ones that she just came out with for Valentine's Day. Here they are right here. Freaking gorgeous. These are amazing. They're called Infinite Chrome Flakes. We're going to do a makeup look with those, y'all. They're so gorgeous. See? I think I ordered that one, but I think I might have to go back and order another one. Let's go. Let's go see if we got some more. Shh, don't tell my husband. Don't tell my husband. Hey, oh, you have optics? Well, we're happy to have you here. If you ever need anything or your daughter needs support, tell her to come on over and hang out with us. You know, and my dad, when my dad found out that I was an addict, you know, because I was younger when he found out, it broke my dad's heart. Like, I remember him crying, and my dad never cries. But now that I'm sober, you should have heard him the other day. He's like, he called and he was like, hey, what's going on? And I told him, I said, I relapsed, Dad. And he goes, no, you didn't. I know you didn't, because you were good at getting high and now you're good at helping people get sober. Is she still is she still using optics? And if y'all are struggling to get sober, that's okay. Like, we're here to support you. I'm not going to judge you. I don't care if listen to me. I don't care if you're high and you're hanging out with us. I want you to come hang out with us if you're getting high. I want you to be a part of our group if you're getting high. Okay? This is where you need to be, is with us. So I want to show you guys, like, these freaking makeups are just beautiful. So she stays away. Oh man, I'm sorry. That sucks. Okay, so these are just gorgeous. Okay, you can literally, these are cream eyeshadows, but this is where these are at. Okay, so Infinite Chrome Flakes. So I think the ones that I ordered was Cupid, but I also want to get, or was it Kiss Me? Oh, I can't remember. I have to go look it up. I have Shooting Star and I have Starburst, but I want to get Sweet Tooth. Oh, that looks so pretty. So, hey, Lex, if you're struggling, girl, we want you to be here with us, okay? You're right where you need to be with us. because I totally been there and I know what it's like to struggle to get sober. And girl, I am not even going to judge you at all. Ever. Never, ever, ever. Recovery is not a one size fits all, and so not everyone is going to get sober the same way. Not everyone is going to stay sober the same way. Some people need different kinds of treatment than other people, and so I'm here to support you in whatever form of treatment you decide is best for you. I'm here to support you. So, okay. I know that one's new. Fantasy. I got Fantasy. Rebirth. Petals. I think I have Mermaid. Starship. Hold on, guys. Nebula, Milky Way, or Twinkle. I just love these things. Yeah, that's a great idea. Getting involved is always a great idea. So, anyways, I'm going to get off here and go live over on my Instagram, you guys, because I promised them I'd come over and go live. So if you guys want to go live with me on Instagram, come on over. My Instagram account is called Discovering Nicole, just like it is here on TikTok, and I would love for you guys to come and join me over there. Okay? Love y'all.